Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Catalina Foothills, Arizona, a couple of very well-connected and wealthy socialites are the subject of a twisted and brutal murder plot that leaves one of the pair blown to pieces. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another absolutely insane edition of Small Town Murder.
Jesus.
And this one is wild. I'm telling you, there's like different suspects, and this is like a episode of Clue, basically. This is going to be wild, except with an awful explosion. It's crazy. We'll talk all about it. Before we get to that, though, definitely want to say thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you for 2023 and all the years before, but we are excited. Happy New Year to everybody. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Head there for tickets. All the tickets for 2024 are on sale. We're in 12 cities. Everything's on sale, and a lot of them are literally pretty much gone right now.
It's unbelievable.
I think Phoenix, all we have left are our reserve tickets. that
Right.
will release
I think that's
some of,
true.
but we have family there, so they're pretty much sold out.
It's pretty much sold out. Yeah.
You can say that about Kansas City. It's pretty close. There's a bunch of them
very close, yeah.
And they're like 10 months away, 11 months away, some
So
of them.
far, yeah.
Terrytown, Boston, all these places. So get your tickets right now if you want to come this year to see us. Please, shutupandgivememurder.com. We're very excited. 12 cities, Sacramento, San Francisco, Austin, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, Kansas City. That's right. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Durham, Nashville, Terrytown, Boston. Look at that, top of the head. So there you go. Come see us. We can't wait. Also, you definitely, certainly want Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fact. Patreon.com/crime and sports. All the bonus material.
Oh, yes.
Tons, couple hundred episodes to binge on there. Anybody $5 a month or above. You get one episode or two episodes every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder. This week, what you're going to get, crime and sports, we're going to talk about players that have had disabilities and still played in professional sports. Think Jim Abbott, one hand throwing a no-hitter, stuff like that. There's a bunch of guys like that. So we'll talk about that. And then for small town murder, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people are talking about lately, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And people have strong opinions on it, and so do we. And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they won't be the same as yours. We'll talk all about it.
Probably not.
We'll go over that and see what's going on. But, yeah, there's some weird stuff going on there, and that's just a crazy case anyway.
Yeah.
Mom, and we'll talk all about it. So that is patreon.com/crime and sports, and you'll get a shout-out at the end of the show as well. Jimmie will mispronounce your name while trying his hardest to get it correct. And while you're listening to that, listen to Crime and Sports, our other podcast.
Right.
There's a bunch of murder in there lately. Give it a shot. Let's say you don't really like sports. You don't want to give it a try. Pick somebody that you've heard of before. Chris Benoit or OJ or something. Murder case, something along the lines. Listen, it's a good show. You'll go, oh, wow, it's just like the same guys that do the same thing. And then listen to the rest. And also listen to Your Stupid Opinions, our new podcast. You know what? Here you go. I challenge you to listen to it. It's an hour long, and tell me it's not the funniest podcast on right now. I'm telling you right now.
It's terrific, yeah.
We will put that on the table and say we think it's the funniest podcast, straight, laugh per minute style. Check it out. So that said, disclaimer time. This is a comedy podcast also.
It is, yeah.
We're comedians. Jokes are going to happen, and people are going to die. These are going to happen together, but not exactly twisted all together. There's nothing funny about an actual murder, but there's a lot funny about a murderer thinking he can get away with murder, a police force that can't quite catch a murderer, things like that.
Unfortunate,
making terrible mistakes. There's a lot of jokes to be made there. But what we don't do, we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags.
There you have it.
And that's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, man, do we have a wild story. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe you wandered into a wrong room, or maybe it's the exact right room and you just don't know it yet. Either way, no bitching about it later. That said, I think it's time, everybody. It's time. Let's all take a deep breath here. Arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmie. What do you say?
Let's go.
Let's go, everybody. We're going to Arizona. Oh, boy.
All right.
Here we go. Get ready for some dust. Here we are. Catalina Foothills. You know where this is?
I'll tell you exactly where it is. I have no fucking idea. I've never heard of the Catalina Foothills.
That's because it's in Tucson, or right outside of Tucson. Tucson suburb. And Phoenix people, if you don't know Arizona is very specific.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
You're either from Tucson or from Phoenix. There's nobody else in the whole state, by the way. There's the Sister Wives people in Flagstaff, and then nobody else lives there.
right there near the border, you got the Jeffs family.
Yeah, and there's like a Native American on a horse somewhere in the vastness of that. There's like one Native American guy on a horse.
Strange people that are sun bleached down there in Yuma.
Yeah, very odd people that have chosen.
Yeah,
but people from Phoenix generally don't really deal with Tucson much.
Down there. No.
That's how it works. So if that's why Jimmie doesn't know here. Now, Catalina Foothills, like I said, it's a suburb, kind of a wealthy area of Tucson outside of it. Yeah, kind of, nice gated type places. It's only 15 minutes outside Tucson. So
to the southeast?
I have no idea of which direction it is from Tucson.
Probably.
You don't know where it is. Now you need to know specifically what side of Tucson it's.
I just mean like down there near the southeast area. There's a lot of like wealthy things.
Yeah, I've seen that. I did a show down there once that I believe was in this area because I was like, oh, this is weird out here. This doesn't look like Tucson. I haven't seen anybody try to like bite anybody else or anything. It was not Tucson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About 2 hours to Phoenix, an hour 50. Depends on how you drive. You can make it in an hour 40, I'm sure, if you put it in there. About 4 hours and 10 minutes to Flagstaff, which was our last episode, which was episode 406. Not Even a Little Sorry was the name of that. And that guy was a real asshole, that guy I remember. So this is in Pima County, area code 520. And history of this town, they started it kind of in the early 20s. It was when this came around. So this wasn't part of like any mining boom of the 1800s or anything like that. Some of the towns.
This was just, we're already here. Let's put somewhere nicer together.
Yeah. Well, it was originally federal trust land. Yeah. So it wasn't, you couldn't build houses on there, but it was open range for cattle grazing. You were allowed to openly graze your cattle. And then some guy, John Murphy, began purchasing property north of River Road in the foothills. So I don't know where that is.
So it's the north side of town then. Yeah.
So, okay, there you go. He wanted to make 10 housing subdivisions with large lots. So he was going to make like a gated community way back then. He was like, let's make this like cookie cutter.
I had enough of all the riffraff. Let's fucking gate them out.
Never mind the guy who did the Levitt town and all that kind of thing. Levitt. Never mind that guy. This is the beginner, the originator of tract housing, I think, here. So he wanted to make sure this was low density residential stuff here. He bought 7,000 acres north of River Road between North Oracle Road and Sabino Canyon.
Yeah, it's way north.
Way north. That's our north end of town. Then in a federal land auction.
Okay.
So that's how he did it. And then a Swiss architect came in to build all of his shit here. In 1963, the Skyline Country Club was established.
Oh, shit.
Then in the 80s, a couple other resorts came in, the Ventana Canyon Resort and the La Paloma Resort, which will play in big in our story today. So
really?
That's why that makes sense. Reviews of this town. Here we go. This is it's going to be all love, I'm sure, right? No. So here's 5 stars. The prettiest location in all of Arizona. Really nowhere else compares. I live in Scottsdale, and whenever I come out to Catalina Foothills, I do not want to leave. The views and weather are perfect. The weather is perfect.
The what? It's
the weather
the same
is not.
As Scottsdale, man.
The views are, I'm sure, very nice because there's mountains and stuff. There's some pretty views there. Sunset time, things turn purple. It's nice. The weather. The weather's a piece of shit, though.
It's literally the exact same. It's maybe 5 degrees cooler, but it's the same shit.
Probably windier out there north of Tucson. Sounds windy to me. Great restaurant choices, culture, and great schools as well. That's what I think of when I think of North Tucson, culture. That's what comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to put like Broadway in there, I think, pretty soon.
I'm from Scottsdale, and I go down to Tucson. Why do you do that?
This is a very wealthy area, though.
Really?
So I think it's just, there's probably wealthy people that have places in both areas.
Socialites doing some, socializing things. Yeah.
Exactly. Socialites doing social shit, I believe is what you call it. Here's 4 stars. I feel very safe in this area. I think that the fact that we live in a gated community makes it feel that way.
Feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah. You put a 12-foot, you put a 10-foot fence up. Do you think that's impenetrable to anybody that wants to get in? It'll help. If it's a lazy criminal, they'll go, never mind. But someone really wants to kill you specifically, they're coming for you. They're coming right over that wall. 4 stars, some speeding on a nearby street.
Yeah.
That's what loses a star. There's some speeding going on.
Over there
it's
on
only
the
4
main
stars.
drag, yeah.
But often see the police setting up a speed trap. This guy's on the side of speed traps. He's like, he sees cops setting up a speed trap. He doesn't do the old school flash the headlights to warn people. He's like, they're going to catch you, buddy. This is a grown-up hall monitor. Fuck this person. Go fuck yourself.
He sees the fucking motor cop with the laser beam, and he goes, thank God, about time.
He gives him a thumbs up as he drives by.
As he drives by 5 under.
Thanks, buddy. Doing the Lord's work, buddy. There's a guy back there going a little fast, just to let you know. He's coming up.
Keep an eye out.
Jesus
the other
Christ.
person's like, how many times has a hitman been like, oh, there's a gate here. I don't know the code.
Yeah, damn it. Never mind. Calling it off.
Again by the pin code of the gate.
Boss, it's me. Hey, boss. No, it's me. I'm here. No, I'm here. I'm trying to kill the guy, but there's a gate.
What? You got the code?
It's got a little pin. I can't get through it. There's a little pin pad. Climb over it. Oh,
what are you talking about, pound? What is that?
Climb over it.
They got a hashtag on here only.
This is crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man. 3 stars. Mm-hmm. I think it depends on the area of town you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about your experience. It's a review for you, not for someone else.
Right.
3 stars. This is the most ponderous question or a review we've ever done. And we do a show about reviews called Your Stupid Opinion. So this is totally crazy. 3 stars, quote, you barely know they exist.
Who?
Who is the question? I don't know. They is extremely vague.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be a thing, a person, a place. I don't know. The mountains?
Barely know.
You barely know they exist. I don't know what that means. There's no punctuation in there to give a hint or anything.
Awesome.
Nothing. Don't know. Here's 2 stars. And this isn't, I don't know what they were expecting here. Don't confuse it with the South. You won't find anyone on their porch cooking barbecue. And that's 2 stars. That's not someone going, you're not going to find that. That's good. They're like, hey, no hillbilly shit here. Okay. This person's like, I need more. I was looking for maybe an engine hanging from a tree, and I didn't see anything anywhere.
I need burnt ends.
Yeah. They were very angry that no one's no one's smoking pork on their front porch.
Not a bit of coleslaw in the whole fucking town.
Weird. People of this town, population 50,096 at this point. Okay, it's gone up quite a bit in the last 15, 20 years. When our story takes place, though, it's not that much. So male, female, there's a few more females than males. Median age is high here.
Really?
A lot of older people.
Oh, yeah, retirement people.
54.2 is the median age. And there's golf, a lot of golf and a lot of shit like that. Yeah, there's twice as many people 85 and over. But there's also a lot more kids than average, so I don't know what's going on here. But there's a shitload of people 65 plus, just a ton of them. It's a lot. So it's almost 60% married, 59.8% married people here, way above the average. Only 6.2% of people are single with children here. So it's older people. That's all it is. Older people and wealthy families.
Right.
Seems to be the whole deal. Race of this town, 78.3% white, 1.1% black, 5.5% Asian, 11.7% Hispanic. So that's the breakdown. Only 40.5% of the people are religious. Okay. That's just rich people. They're like, they want my money. I go there, they're always asking me for something. I'm not doing it. Pay enough to the government in taxes. Thank you. Yeah. So this is but the most of anybody. The leading religion here is Catholic, 21.4%.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think that's your Hispanic population, and
there's that,
some East Coast transplants. A lot of that goes on here as well, as we know for that. 3% Mormon, of course, because Arizona's got a pretty strong Mormon population. 0.6% Jewish, almost made it there, but not quite. We have in Pima County, the last election, 58.4% voted Democrat, 39.8% Republican, 1.8% Independent. And the unemployment rate here is slightly higher than the national average, but the median household income is much higher than the national average.
Tell me more.
Median household income here, $102,171. So pretty high. Yeah. Pretty high, yeah. So that's not bad. And the median home cost, though, the housing here, if 100 is average, regular, here it's 203. Is the index. So,
boy.
Median home cost here, $521,100. Median home cost.
Arizona. Unfucking real, man.
To live outside of Tucson.
Tucson. Holy shit.
So if we've convinced you, damn it, you're going to see these views and you're going to find out if they do exist or not.
Yeah.
The vague they out there. We have for you the Catalina Foothills, Arizona real estate report. The average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,300, which is slightly above the national average. We have a house here, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is kind of 1,691 square feet.
Yeah.
It is a very typical Arizona-looking house.
Oh, boy.
You know the house.
Stucco. Yeah.
That one, the tile roof.
Clay roof, yeah.
In a gated community.
Sure.
Kitchen looks like it was done in 2010. You know what I mean? So there's a little outdated, but it's fine. It's fine. It's decent looking. It's clean. $489,000 for that.
It's sincerely outrageous right
That's ridiculous. It's made of particle board. You could, if you knock and no one's home, you could just kick your way through the wall.
You can
I swear to
Kool-Aid
God,
through that house. Yeah.
you could absolutely kick your way through an Arizona house wall.
Yeah,
No
it's
fucking
crazy.
problem
Yeah.
for $500,000. Next up, 3-bedroom, 5-bath, T-bowl for each and every beehole, and a couple left over for the neighbors here.
No kidding.
3,499 square feet.
Oh, boy.
It's one of those big, like, square, the hell are they called? Like Adobe-looking houses, the ones
flat
that
top, flat roof.
flat top. You can't really tell how big they are or what they're about.
Right.
Looks
You
like
don't know where
maybe
the-
it's
You know where the ceiling is because it's just
Yeah.
a flat wall, and then you got the little pipes coming out the sides.
yeah. I feel like an installment of the army who's fighting the Apaches might be staying there temporarily, like a fort type of deal. But it's inside it's nice. I guess
nice,
it's very
yeah.
southwesterny, but it's $990,000 for that.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and if you keep your breath here. I'll let you get your breath back because you're going to need
Hang
it for this.
on to your hats, folks.
Hang on to more than your hats here. 5-bedroom, 8-bath. So
Oh, that's
all sorts of
interesting
T-balls
next.
for B-hills there. 7,072 square feet.
Oh dear God!
Just a big, ridiculous house. It's a big beige box that's all beige inside. $3,900,000 for that.
Almost $4 million.
$4 million.
I'm telling you, man, it
A
makes
beige shithole.
0 sense.
And that place is a guarantee it's a piece of shit built-wise. It's a dump. Whew. So things to do here. Let's find out. Old Tucson Studios, number one.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Yeah.
I've been there. I went there when I was a kid at one point when I was like 14. And
Yeah, everybody's seen it.
Old
Movie
Tucson.
magic.
If you've seen Tombstone, which everybody has, you've seen Old Tucson Studios
There it
because
is.
the whole fucking movie's filmed there. And if you've seen basically any Western done from 1940 through recently, a lot of them are
A lot
filmed
of
here.
it's there, yeah.
A lot of the gravestone of Here Lies whatever.
Yeah, that was
blah, blah,
it.
blah.
That's actually at
in
Tombstone.
It's also in Old Tucson Studios.
Oh, they've created it. They recreated Boot Hill.
Yeah, it was there. It was there before Tombstone because when I went there, it was like '92 and it was there. So
Yeah.
it was pre-Tombstone era. So
Fascinating.
they put that in there. So yeah, that's they call it a family theme park. And it's an Old West theme
That's what
park,
it
but
is,
there's
yeah.
not really like rides. There's like a train.
No, it's just gunfights and
That's-
then you eat a fucking barbecue, whatever.
That's
It's just
the main thing. And
It's everybody pretends to be a cowboy today.
And first it was just a movie studio.
Yeah.
And then in 1960, they opened up to the public as a theme park. And then they would close down when they were doing shoots and stuff like that.
Sure.
So Old Tucson here, the Old Tucson Western Experience, a Western experience at Old Tucson presents Legends of the Wild West.
Oh, boy.
This is coming up in January through May of 2024.
Really?
Oh, tickets go on sale.
5 months of this shit?
5 months. Meet the legends who braved Arizona or southern Arizona during the 1800s. Learn their stories through immersive entertainment and become part of the Wild West only at Old Tucson's Western Experience. Legends of the Wild West at Old Tucson brings to life Calamity Jane, Billy the Kid, Wild Bill Hickok, and Jesse James through live entertainment.
People are too stupid to write it that way, though. People are going to show up really expecting to meet him.
That's how dumb people are now. That's the problem. They'll be like, I
That
heard
guy's
Wild
name
Bill
is
Hickok
Terrence.
was going to be here. We have guys pretending to be these guys. That's what it should say.
That's what they should say, yeah.
Enjoy old-fashioned games and antique attractions like our blacksmith, vintage carousel, miniature locomotive ride, iron door mine, and our petting zoo. Oh, man, this is there's all sorts of shootouts in the street that they have. And and they also have relax in the stands during our classic comedy stunt show featuring history's finest outlaws, and participate in our daily gunfight at high noon in Town Square by choosing which of two Wild West legends will battle it out. You pick them.
Oh, my. Choose your own adventure, real life.
Yeah, and they'll shoot blanks at each other and then pretend you're involved. Well, let me ask you, city folk. That's what they're going to say, shit like that to you. What do you think, Greenhorn? And then you're going to have to go
Get over
along
here,
with it. Well,
tenderfoot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I knew you were going vacation Dodge City, so I was going to say, hey, come on, underpants. That was the next thing I remember.
Underpants. That's fantastic.
Line us up with a couple of sarsaparillas there, underpants. That's fucking great. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, obviously, here.
Yeah.
Property crime, right about average, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Violent crime, though, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about a third under the national average. Low.
Fairly safe, then, yeah.
Fairly safe, so, yeah, not bad. That said, let's talk about a horrific murder. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's get on with it here. Oh, my goodness, I can't wait. This is a crazy fucking story. All right, let's go back in time a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start way back in time. We're going to end up in the 90s, though. That's when a lot of our story is going to take place.
Really?
90s, 2000s. So let's talk about a guy named Gary Lee Triano, Triano. Triano.
Really? Where's he coming from?
He's coming from Tucson, but there's a lot of Italians in Tucson.
Is that right?
You don't understand. There's some weird thing with Italians, and it's people that, like, a lot of times, too, that are from Italy.
Yeah.
It looks like southern Italy, Tucson.
Really?
And southern Arizona in general. Yeah, my grandmother one time sat on a hill, I remember, and it was the morning, and she was looking out over the tile roofs and everything, and it was on a hill.
Oh, got it.
She said, oh, my, it looks just like Italy. Well, it's beautiful. Southern Italy's a desert. It's awful when it comes to that, the climate.
And those S-tile roofs, they all look like
tile roofs, the way the mountains look, everything, it's very similar. So a lot of those people come out there, and they love it. So that's why a lot of, like, Joe Bonanno, the mob guy, he moved out there. A lot of Italian people moved out there. So
a lot of people don't realize that the tile roof was made that way because they would make the tile over their thighs to make it decorative like. Do you know what I mean? They would form it with their thigh. Now it's just bullshit. Now it's just like fucking created and stamped and stuck on a fucking house. But
it's every house in the suburbs now. Yeah.
Right. It was like the roof meant something. It was a work of art, for Christ's sake.
And it wasn't meant to be gray either. That's the other thing. That was also part of it. They do that in Arizona. Here's your decorative gray roof. Thanks for getting decorative tiles and making them gray.
They're packed with concrete in like the spots where it leaks and stuff. These are just like they're honed and crafted so that they don't leak. It's so stupid.
Yeah, they're all machine done.
It's just manufactured dumb shit.
Yeah, there's not like ladies making them on their thighs anymore.
Right.
I don't think
it's all fake shit. It's all bullshit.
So Gary here is born November 6th, 1943. All right. So here we go. 1960, grows up in Tucson.
Okay.
1961, graduates from Rincon High School. Rincon in Tucson. So that's where he graduates. He went to the University of Arizona as well.
Oh, look at this.
Tucson through and through, to the bone.
No kidding.
Here, he earned his degree in accounting from the U of A there, and also went to he went to some law school classes. Okay. He thought about becoming a lawyer, apparently, and then at some point thought better of it. For a while, went to some law school classes and then said, this is a lot of, I don't know, I don't want to do this. So in the 60s, he marries a young woman as well. Okay. So he gets married out of college to a woman named Mary Cram. Mary Cram. Cram it in me there, Mary.
Yeah, there it is.
They have 2 kids as well. Here, their marriage, or not as well, just there's nobody else has had kids yet. They have 2 kids, Heather and Brian. Heather's the oldest. They're a year apart, so bang out 2 in a row, and they're like, that's it, very efficient. Got it done. Yeah. 2 years, that's all the kids were having. Beautiful.
Done.
So he's trying to establish himself as, an important local guy is what he wants to be. He wants to be rich. He wants to be important. These are his goals.
He wants to be big man in Tuscany.
Tuscany, they call it.
It's almost Tuscan.
Tuscana.
It's really fucked up Tuscan.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an awful Tuscany. It's Tuscany, but not undesirable. That's what it is. So in 1973, he wants to run for the Tucson City Council. So
he wants to be in politics.
Yeah, he wants power. He wants power because in politics, if you're in politics, you have better access to business deals in local politics because you know all the business people. That's what he wants because he wants to be rich. Money, power is what he's after. He, though, he's disqualified as a candidate because he failed to meet the residency requirement.
He hasn't been there long enough?
You have to live in the place you want to actually represent. It helps.
Sure.
So I guess he wanted to do this. He was building a house which was well outside the city, which was in Catalina Foothills.
Yeah.
That's where he was building his house. And they said, well, you can't be on the Tucson City Council if you live in Catalina Foothills because it's not part of the fucking city. So they yanked his name off the ballot. So he went on a tirade and went to the press and tried to sue the city election laws that require candidate residency. Like, dude,
for heaven's sake, dude.
How do you not? You have to live there at least.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody fucking running for president going, well, I mean, I live close to the border in Canada. It's fine. Like, you'd go, no, you have to fucking actually live here, I think.
You don't understand.
What are you talking about?
The Italian Riviera is beautiful. I love being down here. I just want to I want to live in Italy and be the president of the United States. Can I just do that?
They have phones. I'll get to you. Don't worry. I know stuff. So he does that. You have to live there for a year is the rules of the election. But it's not like they made the rule after he...
But they didn't do it because of him. They did it because somebody else tried this shit.
Well, it'd be one thing if you went to be a city councilman and in the middle of it they went, nobody who hasn't lived in the thing and make a rule that disqualifies you. That would be something to sue over.
Nobody named Jimmie. That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's a sorry with a last name that starts with W. But if that's the law when you started and you knew it, then it's your fault.
Want, dude?
Run in the next election then after you're established. So I don't know. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
1977. He's a stockbroker at this point, and he's also a company official for a company called Great Southwestern Trust Corp.
Oh, he's doing white collar shit too.
Yeah, he's one of the. That's what I mean. Wow. He wants money and power. He's one of the company officers basically for this.
Yeah.
It's a land development firm. He's into real estate and land development and that sort of thing. He files for bankruptcy here. Not him, but the company does. The Great West Southwestern Trust Corp in 1977. But then he's doing well after that. He makes some money here in the early 80s. In 1983, he gets involved in bingo.
Oh?
Bingo, yeah. He invested in a bingo hall at 7350 South Nogales Way, or South Nogales Highway. It was owned by the Tohono, how the fuck do you say
Tohono
this?
O'odham.
Tohono O'odham Indians. There you go. There's 2 O's with an apostrophe in the middle. So is it Irish? Is it fucking... I have no idea what we're talking about here. I have no clue. Yeah, I was like, what is this? What is going on here?
Look at this Irish fuck with his 2 apostrophes.
Yeah. Like you have O apostrophe O. What is this? O O'Neill? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not dealing with this.
Is that quotations? Is that maybe an O? Not really?
It was a tribe that was blended with Irish people who came here at one point. And I have no idea. So that's the bingo hall was owned by them because obviously it had to be them to own it.
Yeah, and it's their land. Yeah.
So he invested in this. It's now the Desert Diamond Casino, by the way, this place.
Oh, yeah. There's one. There's one near me too, over there on the west side.
Yeah, now they have chain casinos in Arizona.
Yeah, of course they do.
So he invests with 2 other guys, and all sorts of people, and they will more on that later. Let's just say.
Yeah. Well, bingo was only legal there because it's a form of gambling, so they would only allow it on the reservation.
Absolutely, yeah. Which is weird.
So stupid.
So stupid. So then, by 1985. This is wild. Gary and his wife Mary are named by the Tucson chapter of City of Hope, some organization.
Oh, it's a church, James.
Oh, it's a church.
Uh-huh.
City of Hope is a church?
I believe that's true.
The word maybe.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, well, they're named Couple of the Year by them.
Okay.
Couple of the Year. It's all working out.
Amazing.
By 1986, the next year, they're divorced. Couple of the Year.
Gary and Mary couldn't last a year.
They were the pressure of holding the crowns. Heavy lies the
crown. Couple of the year, divorced a year later. That's amazing.
That is awesome. They were married for 20 goddamn years. Couple of the year, they couldn't take the pressure.
Couple of the year. That is when you get that, you're only allowed to be married for 1 more year. That's what it is.
That's what it is. I'm telling you, it's hard to wear the crown, brother. That's what I'm saying. That's what happened to Biggie. They gave him the crown, man. He was dead in a year, so they can't deal with it.
That's so funny.
It's the funniest thing in this whole. I was like, that's amazing. That's the greatest thing in the story. And nobody talked extra about that. No one was like, how weird is that? They just casually mentioned it. It was like, get the fuck out of here.
You guys, it's fucking bizarre.
Yeah. I'd like to know their other couples of the year. How'd they work out? Is this just...
Who was the runner-up? How are they doing?
What about 84? What about that couple of the year? Are they still with us or what? So 1986, he is the co-owner. He's going through a divorce. He's the co-owner of a company called TGC Worldwide Inc., which just sounds like a gobbledygook of bullshit.
Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, it's just
corporate important business shit.
Feels like a shell company.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Here's my business card, TGC Worldwide Inc. Ooh, that sounds important. It's got an ink and a world. That's wow.
Worldwide. Fuck.
And it's incorporated. It's a computer firm in 1986, and it files for bankruptcy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on in the 80s because PCs came out in the early 80s, and a lot of companies started up thinking this is going to be a huge boom and everybody's going to buy them, but then nobody bought them really because they were fucking expensive.
Yeah, schools bought them because they were crazy expensive and nobody understood them.
Well, that's what I mean. I didn't have a fucking computer in my house at that point. Nobody was buying that.
I had a green screen at school. It was that fucking Macintosh that I didn't understand.
A TV would have been bought for, like a better TV would have certainly come before a computer.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
We will watch Gremlins instead of this green screen
bet your ass.
Of dots that blink. We don't know what this is.
I can get a TV and 2 VCRs for the price of this fucking piece of shit.
Gizmo thinks he's Rambo. We're watching
we're watching it. I'd love to see that. That's going to be hilarious. I want to see the flashy gremlin. I want to see him open up his overcoat and show you his cock and balls. That's what I want to see.
Look at it one time, won't you?
So they file for bankruptcy, this company that he's co-owner of. So, I guess when you have a lot of businesses, some work and some don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of businesses. We have this. And,
I guess people take chances sometimes.
If you put all your eggs in one basket, then you don't sleep to make it work right. You know what I mean? But if you have a lot, sometimes shit falls apart. Who knows?
The bad news is when this thing falls apart, then we'll be probably flashing our cocks.
Oh, I'm going to have to show somebody something for $1.
We're going to be a flashy gremlin.
It's going to be... Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to look like, too. We're going to look like them, too, at that point. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I'm telling you, man, that's the crown. So he meets in 1986 while he is in the midst of his divorce. Yeah. He meets a woman named Pamela here. Okay? Pamela Phillips, to be exact. She is born in 1952, so she's about 9 years younger than him.
Okay.
And she's very pretty. She's like, she did modeling and all this type of shit. Her aunt wrote a book about her, which is fucking funny. And
that'll show Mare. Yeah.
It should be called like Pam's a little bitch sometimes. That's what it should be called, because it's like a lot of passive aggressive shots at her and stuff. It's hilarious. It's weird.
Incredible.
Weird book for your aunt to write, but whatever. She grew up in what is described in one article as Tucson country club privilege.
Oh.
Her family had money. Like in the book that her aunt wrote, there's a lot of pictures of the family, and she's like always on a beach or always.
Yeah.
They go places where,
She's one of those people that doesn't understand when anybody has anything negative to say about Tucson because she doesn't experience that part of it.
She's like, well, there's meth here? What are you talking about? Never seen it. Strange. Very weird. So they get together, and on October 4th, 1986, ink still wet on the old divorce, they decide to get married in San Diego.
He got Pammy P that fast.
That fast. Let's go. Let's do it.
Wow.
So he wines and dines. He leads a very fast lifestyle.
Yeah.
Flash is the key to it all. That's the thing.
Sure.
Money and power is no good unless everybody knows that you're rich and powerful.
Gotta blind them. Yeah.
That's the thing. What fun is it to be... There's a certain mind that says, what fun is it just to be rich and powerful if I can't shove everyone's face in it so
knows,
they don't know?
right?
Yeah, why not?
Need them to know.
And some people hide, and they don't. You never know shit what they have.
I would never.
No.
Oh,
I will
God.
Always hide.
I don't want anybody. I would never want anybody. No.
I can't live like that.
Driving down the street in a fucking Lamborghini. Why would you do that?
It's so ridiculous.
I don't get that.
So the other thing about it with him, I think, it's hard to explain, but I think that he, no matter whether he is flush, he could be, have $2 million in the bank right now in the 80s and be feeling great, or he could have 10 cents in his pocket or 22 cents, as we'll talk about later on, and he'll act exactly the same and live the same lifestyle. That's the thing. Doesn't matter if he's broke or flush. He's in a limo. There's a chauffeur. He's flying a private plane. He's doing all that kind of shit. That's the way he does it. So Gary and Pam end up having 2 children together, and they settle into a real comfortable jet-setting kind of life over here.
Really?
Yeah, as jet-setting as you get in Tucson, let's be honest.
I mean, it's not really a hub. You got to go somewhere else to get your...
You're not in fucking Bel Air or something. Yeah. It's not like you're in Manhattan and you're...
Anywhere you go from Tucson, you've got a layover.
Oh, yeah, you're laying over somewhere. Or you'll just say, fuck it, and drive and fly out of Phoenix.
Drive up to Phoenix, yeah.
So, their friend, her friend, really, Laura Chapman is her name. She said when she and Gary were married, Pam didn't even work. She lived a very pampered lifestyle that Gary provided for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. She said they went to Vegas at one point. I think this was on 48 Hours back in the day. They talked about this. That show. Remember 48 Hours?
Yeah.
That's what this was on. This was a while back. They said they talk about a trip to Vegas, And she said that that was a trip. It was a lot of fun. He had his own plane, so he would fly us in.
He had his own plane.
His own plane. She said it was just a small jet. So just a small jet. That's all. No big deal.
Do you think it was a jet? Do you think it was a prop plane, or was it an actual jet?
She said jet. She said jet.
Maybe he was jetting it.
Jet's very specific to jet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think you have to have a lot more flying time to fly a jet than you do
He's
to
not
like
flying
fly a
it.
prop plane.
He owns it. He's just
wow.
owning it. He's got a pilot.
That flies it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't even drive. He has fucking chauffeurs when he drives half the time.
You got to have $30 million for that.
He doesn't, but that's how he lives. That's what I mean. He just lives like that, no matter what the situation, whether he's doing well,
$30 million lifestyle
or not. That's him. Yes, she said it was big time. Limo rides became normal.
Really?
He'd always go to U of A basketball games. They used to always go to. They love going to U of A basketball games in the 80s,
sure. Mm-hmm.
And that's part of it. Yeah, and there was a longtime Chevy dealer named Buck O'Reilly. Do you know who this is?
I think he's like the Earnhardt.
Is he related to Earnhardt out there with his fucking sitting on and that ain't no bull with his big stupid
he's sitting
hat
on a bull? Yeah.
The first day my mother moved to Arizona, we moved there when I was a kid.
You know it was on TV?
The first fucking day, within 10 minutes of turning the television on, I saw that and I went, "Mom, where did you take me? What are we?
Where are we?
What the fuck is happening?"
Is that Nathan, Arizona?
He's not even kidding. This isn't like a joke. He's fucking serious.
That's a real man.
Yeah. If he was like kidding, like, haha, look at me, ain't no bull. He was dead serious. Big fucking hat
Sitting on livestock. Not like a fucking,
no.
Not a motorized
in front of
bull.
Cars.
He's sitting on on livestock.
In 110 degree, you can see the glare.
Are you a cattleman or a car salesman,
That's
sir?
Which one? That's his whole gimmick. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This guy one time knocked on the window of the limo, and while they were inside at the game, to play a trick on them, because everybody used to make fun of him for always coming in a limo.
Yeah.
So this guy went out, knocked on the window of the limo, and said, they said Gary and Pam there, they said that they are going with somebody else on the way home, so you can just go ahead and take off. And the guy went, okay.
My God.
And fucking took off just so they got outside and the limo was gone, just to fuck with him.
Buck's a jokester.
Just to fuck with him, which I think is great. That means that,
funny. Yeah.
It's trying to be like, calm down there, Mr. Fancy Pants.
That means you don't need the limo, man.
That's what it is. He's like, I drove myself here. See what I'm saying? And I'm more important than you are.
And the limo guy probably was like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be here. This is dumb.
No. Sitting waiting for people watching U of A basketball. What are we doing?
I'm going to sit through two halves out here.
I just watched a guy bite another guy. What's going on? I always hear about people biting strangers in Tucson. A lot of biting, yeah. Which is really the most raw form of attack.
It is, yeah.
Punching someone, shooting, stabbing. So you just run up to a stranger and bite him? That's the craziest shit ever. That's wild.
Yeah.
So he also gets hooked up with Charles Keating, who was
the
big
writer?
No, the big scamming savings and loan guy from the 80s. Arizona's biggest huckster ever.
Do I not know who that is?
You absolutely should, because for about a 5-year period, that's all anybody talked about was Charles Keating.
Charles Keating. Oh.
Yes. One of the people here, Charles Keating, that he was hanging out with, Charles H. Keating, was savings and loan guy who got convicted and all sorts of shit like that and did time in federal prison and everything. Apparently, he owed Triano money. He owed Gary money on a real estate deal and didn't want to pay the guy. He didn't want to pay Gary. Told him to go fuck himself, which is why he was in federal prison for shit like that.
Yeah.
So the Triano's got an advisor, quote unquote, I say that loosely, who told Keating's people that, okay, well, if Keating doesn't pay us, we're going to take one of his ears. I say advisor because financial advisors don't do that. Guys with thick necks named Vinny say shit like that. We'll take your ear.
A collateral is rarely a body part.
An ear. No, it's not collateral. That's what I purchased an ear with that money at that point. No, you're not paying me, so I'll take your ear. Yeah. And then if you pay me, I'm keeping your ear. It's not like I'll give you back the ear. Yeah.
This isn't over and settled.
It's just extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like an ear also at this point. So I guess this Keating's advisors were like, this guy's threatening to cut our ears off. This is fucking crazy. And it didn't matter, though. They never took his ear, and Keating never paid him his fucking money. So he got screwed over by Charles Keating, which is one of I don't know how many people that could say that. A lot of people could say that. So Pam, on the other hand, now her friend says she never worked, but apparently in the late 80s, she was working in commercial real estate.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, apparently she worked at Grubb Ellis, which I've seen signs and billboards for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she did commercial real estate and everything like that. This was in the 80s here. There was conflict of interest laws that she skirted here. In 1987, she was on the County Bond Advisory Committee.
So she's in government too?
We don't get a lot of people on this show that sit on a County Bond Advisory Committee. No one on this show that we've ever covered could spell County Bond Advisory Committee. Never mind sit on it. These are normally not the civic people that we're talking about.
So she's sitting on this board while also dabbling in commercial real estate, which is not good.
No, well, she voted to support a proposed county purchase of a big as two big ranches outside of southeast of Tucson. And
are they ones that she's selling?
That's what I'm talking about. Grubb and Ellis was handling the sale.
Yeah.
And they were going to make millions from the deal because it's a $35 million purchase.
And she gets 3%.
She's getting her company, whatever. I mean, she might not get it, whatever, but it's still for her company. Either way, that's not great. So the county eventually lost out to a federal purchase of the ranches, so it didn't happen. But she does not care that that's a complete conflict of interest, didn't recuse herself from a vote or anything like that. So they want money. They're into money. One of her friends, who is a politics guy, he said that he brokered a number of county real estate deals ranging from River Bottom to former bank building that is headquarters to the sheriff's department on East Benson Highway. And he said, quote, Pam will rip your heart out for a commission. That's what he said. He meant that in a complimentary way.
Yeah. That's a positive thing.
That's like, she's a fucking shark.
She's a shrewd businesswoman.
So 1988, Gary is involved with a land swap. So swapping land with the Pima County Board of Supervisors. So he's getting involved with them, and they're going to swap some land. It involves 23 acres of county land west of Keno Community Hospital, and they're going to swap that for 215 acres of hilly land near the Tucson mountains that had been controlled by Triano. So this 215 acres would be added to Tucson Mountain Park.
Okay, so he's going to get some flat shit that's developable.
Yes, and they're going to get more park.
The up and down bullshit that he can't do anything with anyway.
Exactly. Shit he can't do anything with, and that they actually can do something with. So works out. And they'd like that area developed, and he's going to develop it, so everybody's happy.
There you go.
Problem is, he got all fucked up financially on this. So he owed tons of people money on this land deal. The land, he was going to try to develop the 215 acres out in the mountains there, and even took a bunch of money from relatives of U.S. Senator Dennis DeConcini at the time as well.
Really?
And he owed about $850,000 to people for this.
Holy.
And so he then got them to swap the land, and so the county basically paid off his debt for him, is what ended up happening.
Lucky.
Yeah, but then he borrowed against the newly acquired 23 acres of land and lost all that money as well, and the land. So
lost or spent it terribly.
Both.
Yeah.
He'll just borrow and leverage, and he acts like a guy who's got billions of dollars in a bunch of multiple companies, but he's not that guy. He's a smaller guy.
He's just shell gaming it.
But if you live like that, that's how people live extravagant lifestyles without having any fucking money. He knows how to do that. He figured it out. So the county ended up paying for it again because they needed the property for a baseball spring training complex. The one that he had that they
Tucson
gave him.
Electric Park.
So then they fucking sold it back to him. So he sold it back to them again. So
wow.
Yeah, he fucked them over a couple of times there. In 1990, they start to really run with they want to be seen with famous people, powerful people. Yeah. They went to a basketball game with Donald Trump and Marla Maples in 1990, a U of A game they went to together. Yep. And they were very proud because it was in the paper. And they were like, we're like socialites. Look at us. Yeah. Our social goings-on are in the paper. They lived in this big house, and he's playing golf, and he's running an Indian casino, and he's fucking got businesses all the time. And his wife later, Pam, would say he's flamboyant in a way that I normally wouldn't fall for.
Oh.
Normally wouldn't, what I mean?
Except there's money there, and I like it.
She said this to 48 Hours later on, a little later, quote, I was worth, I think, 2 million in there, somewhere in there, made it totally on my own. That's what she said. I made a whole bunch of my own there. Yeah. But she was trying to say she was wealthy, he was wealthy. They were hanging out with people. Her friend was saying how she was bragging about that it was in the paper the next day that they went to the basketball game with the Trumps. They were all excited. He said that they said he was always he was always willing to take a chance. They said he wasn't a good athlete. He's a heavy set guy, 6'2", a big guy. He's 250 pounds though, heavy set guy. And they said that he loved to play tennis. And they said that he would bet games of tennis and games of golf with people, even though he wasn't good at it.
Really?
So he would just rack up these huge debts because he loved to spend money.
It's just fun.
Yeah. He said he would lose 10 grand on a game of golf, no problem.
Because he's bad at it.
He's not good at it, but he wants to bet. He wants to play with the big boys, not whether he's got the goods for it or not, whether he knows what he's doing or not. So he's like one of those people that would like walk up to those chessboard people in New York City in the parks and be like, I'll challenge you, and sit there, and the guy would checkmate him in 2 moves. Yeah, the guy would checkmate him in 2 moves. It's like some fucking...
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's like some 76-year-old autistic man who hasn't looked at anyone in the eye in 40 years, but he'll school you in chess in 12 seconds, and you can't do anything about it.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Have you ever heard that Michael Richards story, the Kramer on Seinfeld?
Yeah.
The story about
Central Park and did it?
The story about some guy that he saw. A guy played chess. He was a guy who was like an autistic, severely autistic guy who was on the street, and he was a savant at it. Yeah. And he asked to play him, and he played him, and he said the guy beat him in two minutes. It was over, and he was like, "Oh my God!" And he said, let me play again. And he said, "No, I won't play again." He won't play anybody again because he said he's tired of people aren't very good. So if I play you once and I beat you in 10 seconds, there's no reason for me to play you again. I'm not dealing with you. It was like just dismissed by this guy who is literally sleeping behind a garbage can. He's like, get away from me. Like, that's awesome. So
that's where you reign supreme.
That's it. So now he has got, at this point, 4 kids. Yeah. From the 2 ladies. He's got
2 and 2 and 2. Yeah.
2 and 2 here. A lot of people also, he's got some volatile relationships with all these business things. He owes people money. He stiffed people. He fucks people over. Steals deals from people, stuff like that. Gets sued a lot. Mary Cram lives pretty close, by the way, near here.
Ex-wife,
she lives around still. And at one point, when they're having trouble, she'll even use her money to keep him afloat. She'll even lend him money. Yeah. He'll also borrow money from anybody. That's the other thing.
Jesus.
So in 1993, the tribe here, the native Irishmen, they sue Bingo Partnership Inc., which is his company that he's an investor in, for fraud.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Triano Richard Hickey. Dick Hickey? Come on, man.
Dick Hickey.
Dick Hickey is his name.
Dickie Hickey.
His name is Dick Hickey. You can't name your fucking kid. Think about what your last name is before you name your kid Richard. Please, for the love of Christ. Nothing funny, I beg of you.
And if your
Dick
last
Hickey.
name is something that requires sucking to do, never name your kid Dick
Hickey. A Dick Hickey. That's terrible. No one wants Dick Hickeys.
No, those are generally 8s.
That's called syphilis when you have
those
Dick
are called
Hickeys.
lesions.
Yeah, it's not good. So Dick Hickey and Ronald Cohn here, those are the principals named in the lawsuit, and then the 3 of them countersue the tribe, and holy shit. So they were partners, like we said, but I guess I don't know what the hell happened exactly, but there was all sorts of issues with how the money was raised and who got a loan. But they go back, all these questions go back to like 1983. I guess Triano and his partners created a management arm to run the bingo in exchange for 40% of the profits. But the tribal leaders wanted more for themselves and less for them. Less for them. But they invested capital, though, so it's hard. So this fight escalated as the bingo hall got bigger and bigger and bigger, and as they added slot machines, making the whole thing more lucrative. Yep. Once there's more money involved, then it's going to be something here. I guess that they said that they reported in 1992 that 80 of the 225 slots acquired by the tribe were leased or purchased from 2 New Jersey manufacturers with close ties to the mafia. Because who do you think makes slot machines in 1992? People like that. So Triano, they said, was not directly involved in ordering the machines because they're like, it's not his fault, basically. Yeah. So 1993, here, the tribe forces Triano out, and they said that their investment group had earned 40% of about $4 million in annual gross revenues at the bingo hall in 1991.
1.8 million.
So they got 400 grand, 40%. I thought 10% in my mind for some reason. So 1.6 million, somewhere in the ballpark of that. So Triano, they said, used $150,000 worth of tribal certificates of deposit as collateral on a loan he secured for bingo partnership from a Tucson bank. So they said they didn't learn about the transaction until 5 years later. And they also said that bingo partnership, Triano's company, engaged in other improper financial transactions, which were not specified, and this lawsuit just went on and on and on and all this type of shit. Basically, it's everybody he's around. He owes money to them. They owe money to him. There's a problem. Pam, they said, Pam was asked this, quote, "Your husband, he owed a casino in Vegas several $1 million, $1.8 million to an ex-wife, $91,000 to an attorney, hundreds of thousands of dollars to a group of Mexican investors who people said were involved in criminal activity." And Pam said, probably, which is a great answer. That sounds like him.
I could see it.
I mean, hold on a minute. You know what? That's my guy. It's the guy I married.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So do it again.
He's being sued every direction.
Yeah.
Summer 1993, Pam and Gary separate. They get separated, and they'll eventually get divorced here.
Oh, it's over, huh?
She's eventually going to move to Aspen with the children.
Hell yeah.
She's like, this isn't hoity-toity enough for me. Well, it could be Aspen. There we go.
Yeah, I need something real fucking upper crusty.
Real upscale here. He stayed in Tucson, and September of 1993, Pam seeks the first of what will be 3 restraining orders against Gary.
What?
Okay. Whom she said harassed and threatened her. I guess she kicked them out of their home in the summer of 93 when they were, fighting initially here. Yeah. She seeks these restraining orders, saying he is prone to violence, saying he had a loaded gun all the time in the front seat of his car, which was a Cadillac Eldorado, of course.
Hell yeah.
God damn it. Gary, why do you got to be stereotyping me? I mean, this is killing me, Gary. I'm trying to say every week, I'm like, why do we have to be that? And then you're that. Also, with Triano vanity license plate as well.
Really?
Yeah, he's going all the way. But a mob guy would never put his last name on a license plate. No, so that's how you know he's not in the mob right there. Yeah. I'll tell you that. So she said he would mix booze with antidepressants. He threw things around the house, tore her clothes up, and would call or show up at all hours. Oh, boy. She complained in court papers. This is the most rich person court paper shit you've ever seen in your life. If you want to see comedy, and I used to be a process server, so trust me on this, read rich people's divorce cases. They're fucking hilarious. The things they complain about, you're like, wow, you people have very little problems. This is amazing. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options. Nice. It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
She said, quote, "All of my household help has been scared away."
I have to do everything on my own.
The maid left. Are you kidding me? Not your fucking maids, really? You have to clean now? Wow. Oh,
I had to water
domestics.
Plants last week.
All of the domestic servants left. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? November of 1993, they divorce here. So that was quick. That's like 3 months in and out. Yeah. Divorce.
That's 90 days.
That is in and out. And that's because he has nothing to get, and she has nothing. She's not going to give him shit. So they decided it's kind of we'll just cut ties. Okay. He, in 1994, files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reorganization for his Frontier Investments business that he owns, citing, check this out, buckle up, $40 million in debts. 1994, $40 million. Not even now $40 million, which is still $40 million. In 1994, $40 million.
You could buy a sports
like
team for that.
$120 million now. Yeah. This is $40 million's huge.
Wow.
So he files that bankruptcy. Of 22 creditors who filed claims, the IRS listed a claim of about $2.1 million against him as well.
Yeah.
So he owed a shitload in taxes. A couple of banks that had him for about over $1 million. The Mirage Hotel and Casino, he owed $55,000 to. So just some examples of just 22 different creditors he owes here. This one, that one.
Shit.
It's a lot here. March of 1994, Pam files police complaints against Gary twice, saying that he continues to harass her despite the restraining orders.
Okay.
He answers a court claim against her, accusing her, though. He then says no and files a thing against her, accusing her of malicious prosecution and defamation.
Oh, boy.
And everybody's case is thrown out. They just say, fuck you too. You don't even live in the same city anymore. Shut the fuck up. You stay away from her.
Yeah.
You stay away from him and shut the fuck up, both of you.
I'm going to slam your fucking heads together.
You two are rich. Shut up. Stop this.
Your lives are so easy.
Yeah, you'll both find somebody else, no problem. This is how silly it gets. Mm-hmm. During their divorce proceedings in court, during all of this, while they're fighting out the little details, March 10th, 1994, Pam, she became infuriated. She gets arrested in the court.
Oh, in court.
In court. Well, in the hallway of the court, not in the courtroom, but at the court building. She got super mad because she thought that Gary was mocking her with laughter, which...
Probably was.
When you divorce somebody, all you have is to mock them with laughter. That's all you have in your quiver. That's your only arrow. So you fucking pull it out whenever you can.
Sorry, I slung it.
Sorry, but this is making a padding around my soul here. I have to laugh at you. So
sometimes that's the only thing that I text if my ex-wife texts me, just a fucking laughing emoji.
That's all you can do.
That's it.
Mocking you with laughter.
I want nothing to do with this.
That's all. Well, this was during a break in court, she went out in the hallway, thought he had mocked her with laughter, so she threw a glass of water on him. She dumped water on his head.
You can't do that.
No, so they arrested her.
Yeah, for assault.
That's just silly.
It's
That's
funny.
so dumb. Don't call it assault. We need a whole separate. We just need a separate thing for or battery because battery sounds like you punch somebody repeatedly.
Yeah,
battery, like to batter somebody is like they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
that's battery.
Batter means there was blood.
That's just battered him. Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's like the ref called the fight because one boxer was battering the other one. The ref stepped in, waved it off.
Could we call it
weird
fifth degree assault?
Fifth degree non-injurious
non-violent assault.
That's what, non-violent, non-injurious, something like that. Because it's not even spit. If you spit at someone, you can get them sick.
Yeah, you could.
A glass of water it's impossible unless it's the Wicked Witch of the West that you're dealing with. It's not a problem. Or a gremlin. Well, they're going to be happy because then they're going to make more gremlins. But the Wicked Witch is going to melt. Wicked Witch is going to melt. So that's bad. Yeah, but Gizmo wanted to eat after midnight, so. Yeah, he apparently wanted because that's how else would their species continue unless they had an evolutionary need to reproduce. That's why.
Sure, but the eating cost more.
Yeah, remember they gave him the chicken.
Yeah,
because the gremlins had said not to. They disconnected the clock,
right? Yeah,
and so it was because they wanted more of gremlins.
But the water, I get it because it's like on the skin, but I don't understand the food part.
How does it tell time? Is it a time zone thing? Is this only Eastern time? If you go out west, can you not feed him after 9? He was not specific. That old Asian man was not nearly specific. And dude didn't even ask a bunch of questions. He was like, all right, midnight, I got it. And then he left.
I got it. See you around.
Like, I'd want so many specifics.
For the problems for the problems that those two failures bring around,
it's
you
not
should
like
be a lot. You don't understand. No, sincerely, don't feed him. It's fucked up.
It's not like he'll get a rash.
No.
He will produce monsters that will tear apart the town. That's what he'll do. Monsters that will flash people and do all sorts of crazy shit.
And they're very smart.
Rip wires out of things. Do little funny sketches in bars, things like that.
Yeah, they start doing fucking improv, for Christ's sake. It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. A little funny. Let's just say, if you're looking through a window, it's funny.
It's maybe the best improv you've ever seen, but it's crazy.
Phoebe Cates didn't look too afraid of them. You know what I mean? She looked like they were more of an annoyance. All right, enough gremlins.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what a movie.
So she ends up taking out another restraining order against him in Aspen this time.
Yeah.
Saying that a friend had told her that Gary had announced to a bunch of friends that if it weren't for their kids, she'd be dead.
Oh.
Which, that's something that somebody blusters while they're getting a divorce, because there are the kids, so that's not a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To say anyway, because that
it's
is
dumb.
Right.
It's a steam blowing off dipshittery dumb thing to say, and you shouldn't say it, honestly. And that'll get you a restraining order. That'll earn you one. You know
that sounds like a nasty threat. Yeah.
You earned it. You earned it with that one, whether you meant it or not.
Yeah.
So 1995, Platinum Luxury Real Estate, and Platinum Mortgage and Financial Services, Inc. here. He was working there, or has a piece of that place or some shit, and he meets and falls in love with a young lady.
Oh, boy.
And I say young because she's 22 years younger than him. Which is, again, a status symbol for a man like him who needs a jet and a limo and all that stuff.
22 years younger. He's also trying to prove a point to Mary that he's still got it.
Well, her name is Robin Gardner, and they have a child together pretty quick.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're talking like the next year they have a kid together. This is
a 50-something-year-old man is creating more children.
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah, more. He's like 51, 52.
Oh,
she's
God.
In her early 30s. And,
Jesus.
So he refuses to marry her, though. He won't marry her. Said, I've already got 2 divorces.
Yeah.
Not doing it again. So then that made a big mess, because then they would accuse each other of violence and abuse at the same time. He called 911 at one point to report that Robin threw a vase at him in the garage of their home.
Okay.
So that's what's going on here between those two. So it's been like less than a year, and the police are already involved.
Yeah, and every relationship this man has is volatile.
It's very volatile, which he likes volatility, so he seeks out women who will help be that. He's not going to seek out someone that isn't going to contribute to his volatility. You know, that's what you do. So October 1995, he has a life insurance policy, and it's changed because it was going to, I believe, his wife, Pam Phillips.
Yeah.
So now, for some reason, this makes now Joy Bancroft, which is a friend of Pam's, responsible for the premium payments.
Oh.
I don't know why that is. So in Tucson here, Gary would frequent the Olive Tree restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, do you know what that is in
Feels
Tucson?
Like a small town thing, yeah.
Yeah. They said he always had the lamb chops and a bottle of wine there. That was his thing here. Oh, yeah. Said he was never without a cell phone, even in the mid-'90s when wasn't a big thing. Yeah. His one friend, though, John Condis, who was an ex-cop and he owned this restaurant, he says he wasn't playing the big shot. Which
How
is
do you
the opposite
figure, man?
of what everybody else said. They said he was on the phone with his kids in Aspen.
Yeah, that's
call
pretty big shot.
You can't call from home. You can't
call your kids in Aspen while you eat lamb chops and drink a bottle of wine for $12 a crazy amount of money. Yeah,
that's what a cell phone call from state to state would fucking cost you back then.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
it's insane. His friend said he loved and missed his kids, which I'm sure he did.
I bet he did. Yeah,
you know, that's not a matter of that. They said, they would just sit around, talk about business or that kind of thing. And he said at one point in this restaurant, there was a beautiful hostess who was a U of A student. And she said that she was repulsed by Gary's, quote, constant groping. Yeah, he was going in. I'm friends with the owner. I spend money. I get good wine.
You go
and
to
all
U of
this.
A? I went there 35 years ago.
And he puts his hands all over some fucking girl in her early 20s because he thinks that he's entitled to that. So that's what he does. And she said also he's always flashing money. He's always a big flash guy. And then she's just like, just not into that. She also says, quote, he liked them young. That's what a friend of his said.
God, that's so gross.
He liked them young. I guess so, if he's fucking with trying to get women that are 30. He was like 20. I messed with a girl who's 20 years younger than me. Not young enough.
Yeah.
How about let's try 30?
Oh, God, Jesus.
Let's try younger than all my children. What about that? Younger than my first two children. What do you say? I don't understand. How a guy has sex with a girl younger than his daughter, I can't. It makes my fucking head explode of how you don't go, ew, gross. What year were you born?
Yeah.
You weren't even a thought yet, and I was in a hospital, like going, come on, push. Like, that's fucking bonkers. We can't be together.
I was begging a doctor to let me stay here longer because I can't take care of this. And you were born after that.
After that. The fuck out of here. Yeah. What are you talking about? That's crazy. So October of 1996 comes around. Now, Yorba Linda, California.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything? Well, their police department recover an abandoned car. Who cares, right? Yeah. Rented by a guy named Ronald Young. Who gives a shit? You're saying, I don't know who the fucking that guy is. We haven't even talked about this guy. Okay, well, inside are all of Triano and Pam Phillips' divorce records.
Okay.
He's got that. He has a credit report in Pam Phillips' name. Oh. He's got a laptop computer and a sawed-off shotgun.
Interesting.
This is in a rental car rented by a guy named Ronald Young. So they find that it's just abandoned, this rental car, and they find all this shit to the point where they're towing it.
A car has been sitting somewhere that long with all my fucking personal records in it?
All my personal, and a laptop and all this
shotgun.
And a sawed-off shotgun. So, yeah, that's what happens then. Keep that in mind, Ronald Young there. So now Triano at this point, he's working on a bunch of shit. He's working on a system to bleed hydraulic brakes. He's trying to invest in some company that does that. He's also working on being a partner and an investor in a casino on the Chinese island of Hainan.
He wants to be a partner of that.
In a Chinese casino, which is in the Gulf of Tonkin. This would be the first such casino in China, and he wanted in on this shit, obviously.
Yeah.
Shit. Sure. You got to get in on that. Yeah, the first casino in China. But they're going to let him in on it? Why?
Yeah,
for what? What do you have?
Nothing.
There's 1.5 billion people in China. None of them are fucking can pull this off. They need you.
None of them have $5 because you don't.
You don't. Well, let's talk about exactly what he has. November 1st, 1996. This is the La Paloma Resort, which he has been a member of, except the problem is he received notice 2 weeks ago that he would be cut off in the next month because he was not paid up on dues and fees.
Yep.
So he's squeezing the last bit of golf he can out of this place, basically.
Yeah, he's got a couple of foursomes coming up.
Yeah, that's what he did. He went and played golf this afternoon, and friends said that he was at the country club to play golf, as he does regularly throughout the week. He plays multiple times a week. He was supposed to meet friends at a local restaurant after the golf club, or after he went golfing at 6 p.m., and then his friends that he was meeting were supposed to go back to his house to hang out, where a bunch of his other friends had a surprise birthday party waiting for him because it's his birthday in a few days.
Very nice.
It's his birthday in 3 days. So these friends that he's going to meet are just the distraction friends. You keep them at dinner for an hour while we get
we get the strippers and put the blow-up dicks.
Exactly. We got to get the naked girl and the cake, and that's hard. You know, she yells a lot when the oven gets hot. It's really weird.
Did you put the girl in after you baked the cake, Lurch?
When did you put the girl in? Oh, this isn't going to work at all. Nah, he's not going to want to see this. So that's the plan here. So he finishes up the round of golf, and he joined partners of his in the clubhouse afterwards. You know, he's doing all of that. He gets in. He goes to leave. He gets some chips and salsa and shit like that. He's stops to talk to somebody in the parking lot, says hello or goodbye or all that kind of thing. Then he gets into his borrowed car because he doesn't even have a car at this point because he's got all sorts of bankruptcy. So he gets into his borrowed 1989 Lincoln Town car.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It was a nice big car. And he's a big guy, like we said. Yeah. So he gets in there. Next to him is a 25-year-old, I believe, named Keisho Kudo is his name, both with a K. Keisho Kudo. He's parked in a minivan reading a golf magazine, waiting for a friend of his to finish a round of golf that he's picking up. He saw at this point what he called a well-worn, faded old Monte Carlo pull out of the parking lot, he said. Now, Gary gets into the Lincoln, sits there, everything's fine. He looks down on the passenger side of the Lincoln, and he sees a blue canvas bag on the passenger side of the Lincoln. He's like, this isn't mine.
He didn't leave that there.
But he thought it was probably a birthday gift, or since everyone knows it's his birthday in a couple days because he was talking about it. And, you know, he has a ton of friends at the club. He thinks it's a birthday gift. Maybe it's like someone fucking with him for his birthday. Like, and it's going to be like a bunch of like dick confetti or something.
107 dildos in there.
That's oh boy. You got me. You got me. He leaned over and he reached to, basically in the bag was like a stash box, like a wooden cigar box. A humidor, like a little humidor thing that people have on their desks.
That's
important
a great
people.
Gift. Yeah.
Great gift. Those are fantastic. Yeah. So it's one of those. He reaches for that to open it, and it explodes.
Kaboom.
And I'm talking, when it explodes, it's not a small explosion. Let's talk about what a witness said here. This is 5:30 p.m. Randy Folds is a witness's name. He's a marketing director for the news station around there, for one of the news programs on a station. He and his wife were driving westbound on Sunrise Drive when the explosion happened. He said, "We heard this loud explosion, and about 5 seconds later, metal and glass fell on our car."
Oh, it was a big one.
So think about that from the road. That's how big it is. He said it was the loudest thing I've ever heard. It sounded like it was right underneath our car.
Oh, no.
It's in a parking lot, not even on the road. He said that he turned his car into the country club parking lot, and he saw Keisho Kudo, the guy who was sitting next door to Gary's car in a minivan, stumble away from what he called a smoking car.
So it was so big that the car next door, the guy is fucked up.
Fucking dazed. The Folds guy, the witness, said that Kudo sat down on a curb and he had a gash on his head.
Wow.
It's probably broken glass or something like that. So Folds, he said he approached the car that was smoking, the car that exploded, to see if he could help somebody. And he said, quote, "All I could see was a hand and an arm." And he knew that this was well beyond saving, and didn't want to see anymore. Yeah. Oh, he saw an arm sitting there. If you just see an arm just hanging out by itself, that's probably
nothing left.
It's beyond like chest compressions at this point, or like maybe I can do some CPR.
There's no getting his lungs moving.
No, this isn't. Let's hold his nose and blow into his fucking mouth here.
You got to find his lungs. This is crazy.
Put his lungs together with his esophagus and his windpipe, and shit, never mind. So, a University of Arizona cardiologist told the newspaper that that he was there to meet friends for drinks at the country club.
Yeah.
So he said he heard the explosion, and as he walked near the pro shop, he ran toward the explosion, toward the parking lot, and he said that he saw Triano's body in there, and he said he reached to feel a pulse, but then backed away because he saw smoke and flames still coming out. So he's like, Jesus Christ, I can't get involved in this. So this is a lot. They said that the bomb was so powerful that it sent debris flying 200 yards into the air. 200 yards, that's 600 feet into the fucking air.
Yeah.
It's so high. They said the windshield actually flew over the trees in the parking lot and to the swimming pool area well beyond it.
Wow.
The fucking windshield of the car, which is heavy. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever put a windshield in. I put a windshield in an 85 Oldsmobile, and that fucking thing was heavy, and me and my father it's on your fingertips, and you got to get it. An 89 Lincoln's very similar. That's a big, heavy windshield.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So passersby reported that it was a tremendously large blast that sent metal and glass raining down everywhere within a 75 to 100-yard range around the place, basically. They said that it tore the roof completely off the 89 town car.
Jesus.
Buckled and shredded the hood and nearly took the doors off their hinges.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there was glass and shrapnel all over the westbound lanes of Sunrise Drive. Stuck to the asphalt in the eastbound lanes was a melted piece of rubber molding stuck there because it was hot when it landed. Yeah. In another spot was a Tucson Rod and Gun Club emblem still stuck to the back window of the glass.
Oh, my God.
Because that was broken. So the crazy part is they have to wait for the medical examiner to come because Gary is absolutely dead in there. And they have to wait 7 hours for him to get there.
Jesus.
In the meantime, somehow the car's headlights remained on. This huge explosion blew everything apart. The fucking headlights still worked.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
I guess it just the blast may have soldered the positive and negative together.
Maybe
and just,
it's never going off now.
Oh, right, or the explosion just flipped the switch, and the car doesn't have to be on for your headlights to stay on.
That's what I mean. They're on.
Make announcements in shopping centers. Buick Skylark, this license plate, your headlights are on.
Get outside, asshole!
Yeah,
You're not going to be able to leave.
Your shit won't start.
So they had him sitting in there in the car for 7 hours with the headlights on, waiting for Dr. Bruce O. Parks. And he stayed about 5 feet from the car at that point. He said from there he could see a huge gash in Gary's right leg. When they brought his body to the morgue, they said it ended up being a 9-hour and 15-minute autopsy.
Really?
That sounds like a long autopsy, but they have to kind of put him back together here. They said that he was all bloody. There was there was charcoal-like dust covering a lot of his wounds as well, so they had to deal with that. They said part of his right hand and tendon were brought in a separate bag because that blew off. God. That was what he was opening it with, the bomb. The stump and injured left hand were covered with white paper bags. That's to keep DNA and physical evidence on there. His shirt was torn and melted onto his body.
Oh, ouch.
Let's talk about his injuries that he received, besides his losing his fucking hand and having a stump now. The blast opened up his skull.
Really?
Opened it up, split his skull apart by 1.5 inches on the right part of his forehead for a length of more than 4 inches.
That's like
1.5 inch wide opening in your scalp that's 4 inches long. Not scalp, skull. His skull broke
in your
open.
face,
In your fucking head.
Wow.
That's a huge chunk of skull that's missing. Wow. Metal from the pipe bomb was found in his brain.
Yeah, it went through that hole. Yeah.
Fuck, man. His hair was singed. His eyes ruptured. Ruptured. Like in a fucking electric chair in 1910.
Exploded his eyes.
Yes, that's the kind of heat we're talking about. His right hand, except for his pinky, was blown off, sending it flying. The hand was found in the parking lot somewhere, by the way.
Oh, God.
That's fucking insane here. His right arm was broken above the elbow, and the blast split his abdomen, split his 250-pound fucking abdomen, and severely cut his liver as well. Wow. His watch was stopped at 5:38 p.m., so that's what time this happened.
What time it happened, yeah.
The explosion blew out the passenger window of the van next door, that Kudo guy's van, cutting and bruising him. He only required some stitches and shit like that. He was fine. But they said the device was simple. They said, but it was, one cop said it was of artistic precision. Simple, but well made.
Yeah.
Like a really good tomato sauce. Simple, very few ingredients. Nice, clean flavor.
That's what it was.
You gotta. It's what it is. It's that, a little bit of olive oil. So they said also when they did the autopsy, despite the fact that he was a heavy-set guy in his early 50s, they said his organs were in great shape.
Really?
They said except for the damage from the blast, they said he could have very easily lived to be an old guy.
That's what happens when you eat good foods, man.
Yeah, minimal coronary shit. Same with his aorta. His brain was good. Everything was fine.
Wow.
Except for having metal in it. So they said he had no booze in his system at all. Only caffeine showed on lab tests, and it said that he had recently eaten tortillas or tortilla chips, olives, green chili, tomato, and onion, which is salsa. That's what he was doing. He was eating chips and salsa at the club on the way out. Had a couple of bites of that, and then he was going later on.
Coffee or a tea or something?
His gray slacks, his golf pants were torn. Inside the front pocket of his shirt, they found a broken plastic divot tool.
Sure.
To put divots back down, and one dime, 10 cents.
Oh, that's to mark the ball.
That's to mark the ball.
Yep.
The other pocket were another dime and 2 pennies. Yes. So he had no money in the bank. He had 22 cents to his name, essentially.
22
because he was in all sorts of debt and had no money and everything else. That
in somebody else's car.
His liquid money was 22 cents at that moment in time.
He was marking the ball with half of his assets.
With his half of his net worth. I put half my net worth at the ball landed here. Actually, it's not even because he owed so much money. It's not even net worth.
Incredible.
Someone's going to come and take his dime. One of his creditors is going to run across the fucking 12th green and grab his dime up. Not so fast, buddy, and keep going. Ha-ha.
Half his gross worth.
Still owe us fucking $4 million. Sorry. So more witnesses. One witness early on the scene reported seeing body parts amid the wreckage.
Yeah.
Also came upon the Kudo guy as well. Jesus Christ. So there's a couple of kids as well. A kid named Colin Wilkinson, who's 13. Yeah. He was in the nearby desert with some friends when he heard a big boom. He said, the ground was shaking, and at first I thought it was a crack of thunder. That's loud.
Yeah.
That Arizona thunder, when it's deep, it's like you feel it in your bones. It rumbles. It's deep.
Boy. Yeah.
He said that he later saw that the car's hood was shredded, and he said, my heart was really beating. I thought it was a big bomb. But she was right.
Good guess, man. Nice job.
Not bad. Another kid named Justin, who's 11, was at the tennis clinic with his father. He said, I looked in the air, and there was shattered glass and ashes flying everywhere. I ran up to see what happened, and the car was just smoking. It was really weird looking. Only an 11-year-old.
Really weird looking.
Only an 11-year-old would describe the smoking wreckage of a Lincoln intertwined with mashed body parts as really weird looking. Only an 11-year-old could do that.
Yeah.
That's why you don't ask 11-year-olds to describe shit, because that's what you get. He was either really cool or really weird looking. You're getting one of the two. He said it was really weird looking. It sounded like a sonic boom that I've heard at the air shows.
Oh,
so the planes make. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They said about 25 cars were in the parking lot at the time. No other guests were hurt. That Kudo guy was the only guy here. One of the police sergeants said he's been in Tucson for 37 years and said this was the first fatal vehicle explosion in the city in that time, in 37 years that he's been there. So there's one other guy named Gus Fotinos. He had played at the golf course with Triano numerous times. On this day, he was in another foursome. He was in the foursome behind them.
Oh.
He said, I was in the clubhouse when I heard the boom, so they had just got done.
Yeah, he was just wrapping up.
Yeah, and he said one member came in as white as could be. I started to go out, and then another member came in and said there was a car bomb, and it got Gary Triano, and his face and chest have been blown off. I didn't need to see that, the guy said. They went out and saw him exploded with a bomb. Yeah, so with a fucking
no
hole
head,
in
no
his skull.
chest. Don't go out there.
Bad stuff. Stay in here. There's chips and salsa. Yeah. Fucking stay where.
By the amount of balls you lost today and go home.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's the lesson to be learned here. When in doubt, just stay and eat chips and salsa.
Enjoy the chips and salsa.
Enjoy it. While awaiting the cops, paramedics, and others here, they all showed up and looked at it and were just horrified by it.
Sure.
And the Fotinos guy said he liked Gary. He said, I've been here 50 years. He was a man about town. I don't think there was anybody in business who didn't know him. He was extremely smart. I enjoyed our relationship. He said, I was in absolute shock about this. I would never anticipate this sort of thing happening to anyone, let alone one of my friends.
Yeah.
Car
bomb? Weird.
Yeah. Car bomb. Yeah. It's weird. The police say, one guy, this is Pima County Sheriff Clarence Dupnick, he said, this looks very much like a professional hit. It was an extremely powerful device placed in the right front portion of the vehicle. It's not your average everyday murder plot here.
Professional hit, though, of like he has to participate in his own hit. He has to actually open it. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's
yeah,
very rare.
That's what mob guys used to do when they start your car, it explodes. That was
but that's not really. You don't know that you're participating.
True.
This one,
and
know that you're participating.
That's hooked into something. Well, It's not only that he's not participating in it because we'll find out what the bomb is. But he didn't have to go. He didn't have to do shit. He just had to be next. to it.
It was going to go, huh?
It was going to go. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Somebody was setting it that way.
Uh-huh.
We'll talk about it. So, they said that a lot of people, he said, you have to this is the same guy, this is Dupnick. You have to understand that his financial situation could be best described as very desperate. He was having a difficult time serving on a day-to-day basis. He said there's a number of people who would have reason to be angry with him, some in his personal relationships. Other problems could have cropped up from his financial relationships. We're looking at the possibility it could be the mob.
Okay.
Okay. In the past, the mob has used this message. Not only is it a powerful, violent way to kill, but it sends a message perhaps to others. It's speculation, but it's a disconcerting speculation. Yeah, it is disconcerting that you'd say that. It's got to be the mob. What's his fucking Triano? Yeah, of course. She's, I hope I never die in a mysterious way because it doesn't matter. So, friends of his here. Here's one person, Shannon Travis, who's a Tucson City reporter, and her fiance were carrying a gift of wine and wine glasses and had all this shit. And they said that they were showing up to the party, his surprise birthday party, with glasses they made and painted for him. And they were told by two of Gary's friends that we've got some bad news. Gary's dead. They said, yeah, that's the party's over at that point. Yeah, that's not good. So they said, no, it can't be him. They said he's supposed to be here. How could it be him? And they said, well, shit. We talked to his girlfriend because he's got another girlfriend now at this point.
God, Jesus.
They said he talked to his girlfriend a little more than before they arrived. The girlfriend had worked hard to organize the party. She even tried to fly his two youngest children. Well, not two of his almost youngest. He's got one younger. From Aspen in for the event, but it didn't work here. But his grown daughter, Heather, was going to be there. Okay. So it was a big plan, and they were, he had another real estate broker friend and his wife that were going to meet him at the restaurant at 6 at Janoff's, and then they were going to take him home. And that couple said when he didn't show up by 6 o'clock, we couldn't understand what happened to him. And then a little while after that, investigators found out about his girlfriend, told her, she told everybody else. So it's rough. Now, Shannon Travis, who is a friend of the Triano family, said family members are afraid and also pissed off by the media at this point.
Okay.
She said, quote, it's hurtful to the family to hear those kind of things, such as mob connection speculation. Right. Gary has lots of different business deals, and there's so much speculation. But those of us who knew him as friends and family members know the generous, loving person he was. So, the investigation, they're going to have to get the Bureau of Tobacco, or Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, along with the FBI, here to the scene, as well as the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the bomb squad, and anyone else will take a crack at looking at this shit.
All law enforcement, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They take aerial photos. They do everything here. So, any suspects off the top of our head? Let's find out here. They said, one of the police officers said, Gary was definitely a target. Gary suspected he was being followed, he had told a friend. He told people he was being followed by an individual that was driving a Jeep-type SUV.
In
the mid-'90s.
Yeah, Suzuki Samurai or a Jeep.
Anything like that. And so they said that there was a similar vehicle seen at the La Paloma Resort right when the bombing happened.
Oh.
So from the parking lot, there was a maroon Explorer, which fits the description, driven by a man on a cell phone, and he pulled away after right before the explosion. But the driver was a club member. He was cleared. He was just talking to someone. Wasn't him. His cell phone records backed that up. There was that. And there was passengers and drivers in a Monte Carlo. They were club employees. They were fine. A man, Kudo, the guy who got hurt next door there in the minivan, he said that he saw a man next to Triano's car, but that also ended up being a member of his golf party that day.
Yeah.
So that would be a neat trick. I got to take a leak. I'm going to head on in quick and plant a bomb in your car.
That is the thing about golf. If you go to do it, if you play one round, you're leaving your car somewhere for 4 fucking hours. And if you play twice, just multiply it, babe. You can leave that car there all fucking day. And then what? You're supposed to keep track of who's been near it? Fucking everybody's been near it.
And if you play twice, you really hate your wife. That's what you're saying.
You betcha. You don't want to be around her at all.
Guys who like their wives generally don't play a lot of golf. That's the thing.
Not 2 rounds in one day.
No. Guys who either like their wives or are deadly afraid of their wives don't play 2 games. So they're asking, what about enemies? He's got some enemies. He's got an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend. They're both pissed off at him. What about the Indian tribe? They're pissed off at him.
Oh, the Tohono O'odhams, yeah.
He owes Vegas casinos a bunch of money.
He owes the MGM, one of the biggest ones.
The Mirage.
The Mirage, yeah.
He owes that. What about Chinese investors he's been fucking around with?
Oh, my.
What about speculators seeking that were also involved in the Chinese investor casino deal?
The fucking Yakuza.
A lot of shady characters here. So he is working on all sorts of shit at this moment in time. They're trying to figure it out here. I guess there's a guy named Michael Sang, who's a Tucson businessman. He was the link to the Chinese deal here.
Sure.
Financing was coming from some Illinois-based source here. But the guy who provided the financing for that, a guy named Gary Fears, he said that he'd had nothing to do with this, obviously. It didn't touch Gary Triano, and he even took a polygraph exam. So, okay. What about his divorce?
Yeah, she
there you go.
Funny pissed, sure.
They were talking about that. They were going back and forth about tax documents that he had filed, saying he filed shit wrong, so they're trying to get him in trouble with the IRS and all that sort of thing. One of the police sergeants says that it appears that everyone in the China deal reconciled with one another. So he doesn't think it was the China deal because everyone seemed fine to walk away from that. They said, though, you never know. He said it might not be some big business deal. It might not be a domestic volatility. It might not be owing a casino or pissing the mob off. It might be something small. It might be a small thing. He talks to a lot of people. He might have pissed somebody the wrong person off.
He may have made a left turn in front of somebody in fucking Tucson traffic. We don't know.
Yeah, Tucson's a crazy place, man.
It's
the Florida of Arizona. You never know. So they said, for all of his high-powered bullshit and everything else, he might have just pissed off some minor investor somewhere, just got tired of his shit. So the sergeant here, O'Connor, said, what has always intrigued me is for all his familiarity with politicians and connections to the high end, he was dealing sometimes or living on the dark side of what I consider hardworking people, but low rent. Maybe a little old lady who had given him her life savings and or $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 and getting the feeling that he's ripping them off. He had plenty of those. Little investors. He would take a couple grand from this person. So you piss off somebody where $2,000's a lot of money to them, that motherfucker will kill you well before some rich guy who you got $500,000 with. You know what I mean?
Well, a lady might drop a Romeo and Juliet box in your fucking
you never know.
Borrowed car.
Her son might. Her grandson might.
That's the other part. Somebody else's car got blown to shit.
Yeah. I hope that's insured because someone else was driving it. Now is it insured? Who the fuck knows?
Do they cover that?
Jesus Christ. But that's huge business people are used to eating their fucking lunch on a few $100,000 here and there because it happens in business where someone who gave you their last $2,000, they don't expect to lose that shit, and they're going to be pissed when they are. The cop said, quote, "What if one of them has a former Navy SEAL doing some handiwork or errands for them, and all they hear is complaining about Triano? What if they say one day, want me to take care of that for you?" Could just be that. When you're dealing with someone with so many connections to money, could be anybody.
They might have a Navy SEAL friend that's just willing to do some
That's
shit.
a very specific
It is,
thing.
yeah.
It's not just, some fucking loose with the law son-in-law or some shit. We're talking a Navy
SEAL?
Navy SEAL landscaper.
That builds artsy fucking bombs?
Yeah. He's a landscaper, and he just heard you walking around your property. He heard you saying some shit
Bitching
about
about
him.
$2,000? I can take care of that.
He goes, when I'm done edging over here by the garden, you want me to take care of that for you?
I got some PVC in the truck. I'll head right over.
You I should blow that guy up or what? Wow. A friend of his says here, this is Dr. Lawrence D'Antonio, a Tucson family physician. He said, I've known Gary Triano since I was a little boy. He is convinced that mobsters killed Gary.
Really?
Because he says that Gary owed them money and wouldn't pay them.
Okay.
He said, listen, guinea to guinea, it was, I know who did this.
Again, I know.
Again, I know what's going on. He said he's a very flamboyant man, and he's also very good looking. But he's rotten to the core. He was a con man. He was a thief, and he would rob or steal from anybody, including his own family, his own wife. That's the way he was. Which kind of lines up. If the guy who's known you since you were a kid says that, and it kind of lines up with everything you've done in your life, that's probably true. Like, not to be a dick and besmirch the name of the murdered, but I mean, if he was an asshole, he's an asshole. What are you going to say,
I don't understand why they put the good-looking part in.
Because that's how he kept getting women. He got pretty women.
Okay, yeah.
All the women he got were pretty, so it made it also upped his ego even more that he could get away with anything. So he also, Dr. D'Antoni says, Triano associated with known criminals, including one of his first business deals was partially financed by Joe Bonanno, who, if you don't know who he is, he was one of the biggest bosses in the history of the mafia, ran the Bonanno family.
Right.
Until some shit happened and he made a deal. He was such a powerful motherfucker that when the mob wanted rid of him, they couldn't even kill him or get to him. They let him make a deal to retire, and then they let him.
Let him go.
And he didn't retire, but it was just, I'll retire from New York. I won't be here. I'll go to Arizona and do my thing. And they said, okay, because it's easier than dealing with it.
Don't be here, yeah.
Don't be here. So that's how badass he was. So they said he was asked, was Gary living a very dangerous lifestyle? And his friend said, oh, absolutely. Gary carried a gun all the time, which is what his wife said too. So he said that D'Antonio said he's seen proof that Gary Triano was on a, quote, kill list.
Oh?
Who shows people their kill list? Who shows their family physician their kill list?
Why didn't you take note and tell those people?
Doc, I got a weird lump here, and I'm going to kill all these people. Can you check both those things out for me?
Are any of these people your patients? Also, check my testicles.
Also, my balls feeling a little weird.
I dribble again.
He said there were a lot of names on this list, and some names would come and go, but Gary Triano was always at the top of the list. Who are you fucking hanging out with?
You've seen this list multiple times and seen it so many times you've seen names disappear and reappear?
Yeah, oh, him, okay, yeah, he's fine
that
now.
guy again.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers, and Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes. from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
So he goes on to say, I was absolutely sure that Gary Triano had just been murdered by Neil McNeice. Okay. McNeice. McNeice. Okay, who the fuck is Neil McNeice?
Love to know.
Let's find out here. All about this. Now, there's an investigator who works for Pam at some point here because Pam has the kids or whatever. He said that, quote, I'm old style. I blend in. I fit in. That's the investigator describing himself.
Yeah.
Old style. Yeah. He was working for Pam Phillips to try to see if this guy McNeice killed Gary. This is what Reedy said, quote, I'll tell you what I think happened. I think Gary really burned somebody really good and somebody was really upset and someone was going to kill him. You think? A car bomb? Yeah, probably. Wow, you're a great investigator.
He was blown up in the parking lot. I mean, nobody thinks that's not an accident. It's not because he ate too much.
Somebody just misplaced their bomb and he happened to find it.
He didn't overeat and explode his stomach. Somebody put a bomb in there, man.
Split his skull open. So they said, this Reedy says, this man here is the man that orchestrated this. And he says, this is Neil McNeice. He said, when Neil McNeice was on drugs, he was a completely psychotic, insane guy, is what Reedy says. He says, all I ever met in his world, his entourage, was drug dealers, drug addicts, strippers, prostitutes, and bad guys. Well, I know a lot of people like that, but none of them are murderers. That's the thing. So
he hangs out
not
with all
strippers
the bad
and prostitutes.
Things,
yeah. He said he had a lot of bad guys that worked for him. And he said McNeice was a rich kid who inherited millions of dollars from his family's uranium mining fortune.
What?
He even owned a piece of an Indy race car team.
Somehow their family bought land that had fucking uranium on it?
Uranium. I didn't even know that was a thing you could pull out of the ground in America. I figured that was, I don't know, next to the diamonds in fucking the Congo or some shit. I had no idea.
Of all the luck, he bought land. It's flush with uranium.
It's fucking uranium, man. That seems hard to get uranium, doesn't it?
Feels like that's probably
you need gloves for that, right? You need gloves for that, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think you just send random immigrants down to pull that one out.
You don't bite it with your teeth to see if it's real, like with a gold nugget? I don't think that's what you do. See if it's soft
enough.
Uranium, yep, that's the stuff right there.
I lost all the hair on that side of my body, so that's got to be it.
And a bicuspid, so I think yes. So they said that, this is wild, D'Antonio, who was once McNeice's personal physician, hey, how about don't talk about your fucking patients?
HIPAA laws and shit.
He said his patient slipped into an even faster lane. He's now going to talk about his health. This is crazy.
Oh, my God.
He said he was heavily on drugs, and his drugs were cocaine and heroin. That's a lot. Yeah. He said that's when the trouble started. D'Antonio said the beef between McNeice and Gary was over a huge diamond ring. This is intriguing. He said a gorgeous diamond wedding ring. This thing was magnificent, and Gary pitched it as a $250,000 ring. He said it was his wife's. He said he got it back from Pam or whatever. So the doctor said that Triano needed cash, so he offered up his wife's $250,000 wedding ring to McNeice as collateral for a loan.
Okay.
Which, like, he pawned it to a rich guy, basically.
Right.
But the problem was the diamond turned out to be fake. So not only did Gary scam this guy, Gary also scammed his fucking wife by giving her a fake fucking diamond.
Gave her a fake ring.
He gave her a fakie. And they're saying how fucking, rich
how
and
rich
wonderful they are.
Yeah.
That's...
Oh, he sent that woman out on lunch dates with her friends with a fake ring.
It must have been a good fake because nobody ever said it. But nobody would ever assume that they're flying in a private jet. Of course it's real.
Yeah.
That's wild shit.
Unbelievable.
That explains, that's so much, that's just like America in a nutshell. A $250,000, I'm fancy, but it isn't even fucking real. That's crazy. So I guess they said that when he found out, McNeice realized and he went batshit here.
Yeah.
D'Antonio said, Neil went absolutely crazy. He started to tell me, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And he said, and when I kill Gary Triano, it will be spectacular. The whole world will know I killed him.
That feels like the guy.
That's very specific, yeah. He said Gary Triano owed him a debt, and I believe that's why Gary Triano was killed. So, yeah. Reedy said he had it all figured out. This is that investigator that said that. That's who was killed. He took 48 Hours, the TV show, to the workshop where he believes the bomb was built. Okay. And he says, this place looks like a movie set. Thousands of parts, heavy machinery. That's what the interviewer said. And Reedy said he has everything here that could be used to build a bomb, which anything could be used to build a bomb.
Yeah.
He said, we found at least 6 pieces to the puzzle within this drawer right here. We found shotgun shells. We found bearings, the same type of powder that was used in the bomb. We found the Radio Shack receipts that linked this all together. Okay. Reedy says the man who built the bomb in that shop was a model airplane hobbyist named Jerry Capuano. He said that was the guy because he knows how to do all that stuff. Reedy's theory of the crime is that McNeese put together a whole hit team to go after Gary. Really? He said, this is his bodyguard who orchestrated and got the hit crew together with these 2 guys, and he had pictures. He said, and these 2 guys have a past criminal history. They're complete thugs. So McNeese and his bodyguard had a criminal history. They were convicted of extortion for threatening another man who owed McNeese money. That sounds about right.
This is his MO.
Reedy says that, allegedly, Reedy says that he found a witness who saw the hit team in the parking lot of the country club that day.
Uh-oh.
He said directly next to Gary Triano, when the bomb went off, there was an individual in a vehicle sitting there reading a magazine. He was looking in his, they're not saying it was Kudo that did it. Right. He said he was looking in his mirror and he saw an individual back by the bushes. He also saw another individual straight up ahead on this knoll directly in front of us that we're pulling around to. He said knoll and bushes.
You got a grassy knoll, really?
Did he say back and to the left? We're fucked here. He just described the smoke coming up from the bushes and a fucking grassy knoll. He just described. That's who did it.
Unbelievable.
And he said, I believe those 2 people were involved in the bombing. So that's what they think. Police, though, don't think it's this guy at all. They don't. No. They didn't believe the diamond ring story. They didn't believe the bomb factory thing with that thing. They didn't believe anything about a hit team. They didn't really believe anything about the mob hits. They just didn't see it, the mob thing. They said another one, the Mexican group, the financial group, all discounted by police, just bad business deals that happen all the time to these people. Because when they go talk to them and they realize, oh, you've been fucked over by like 12 people like that in the last 5 years and they're all alive.
And they're all doing great.
Yeah, probably not you, I guess. Yeah. That's just business. So they said, quote, we went and talked with the casinos, and they said, yeah, we lose money all the time. We don't go out and kill people for the money that they owe us. It's not really. Plus, if you kill someone, they can't pay you back.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. There's an interview with this loan shark guy, or he was a hitman. He killed like 40 people back in the day, and he was a mob guy who wore a hood on his interview because he wrote a book under just like a mob guy name, basically.
He's a bad guy.
Real bad guy, killed tons of people, ran loan sharking and did all that. And they said, well, when do you kill people that owe you money? He goes, never. How the fuck are they going to pay me if they're dead?
Right.
He goes, I'll let them go forever. I'll break their fucking leg. I'll bash their arm. And they'll be fucking on a fucking wheelchair by the end of it, but they're going to get my fucking money eventually. Yeah. Like, no matter what it takes, they're getting it. Yeah. If they have to hock their wheelchair, I'll get that money. Like, I don't care. So that's not how it works. Casinos are the same way. They want their cash. So another friend is that Rich Moret guy, I think we talked about, or Moret. He's an advertising guy in Tucson. He says somebody's making a hell of a statement to blow up a car. It's like Don Bowles. That's what everyone's saying. Don Bowles was an Arizona Republic reporter. Do you remember hearing about this?
I do remember that.
He was killed by a Phoenix car bomb in 1976 in Biltmore, right in there, in the Biltmore there.
In Phoenix, that's right.
In Phoenix, yeah. He said that, I don't know if Gary was ever worried. He says not the kind of worry that he was worried about his life. No, he's just worried about being broke.
Okay.
Yeah, he said they had plans to play tennis and all that kind of shit, and then he heard that he was dead. He said Gary was larger than life. He had at one time the best of everything. Homes, automobiles, a helicopter, a jet, a chauffeur, the finest wines.
And couldn't afford any of it. Not any of it.
No. I mean, he could at times
for
a year here and 6 months there, but not all the time.
Sustainably support that lifestyle? He can't do it.
Nope. He was just doing what he could while he could. This Moret guy said, but Gary had another side, too. He had creativity, artistic ability. He wrote poems. Give me a fucking break. Do you want to hear poems from this guy?
He's a sonnet guy, James. What do you want?
He's practically a Renaissance man. Holy shit. He won top awards from the Boy Scouts and was a major donor to the University of Arizona.
I didn't know the Boy Scouts awarded him.
I mean, that means he's perfect. When he had money, he was very generous. He was on hard times. He was forced into bankruptcy about 2.5 years ago, partly because of a very costly divorce and the real estate bust. But Gary had lots of deals, just the same way he gave to a lot of charities and had a lot of friends. So, yeah, he also talks about... he said that the casino, he was involved in the casino thing, and he said, we would have all made a fortune. He said, we were screwed by our own government.
Okay.
Who said, I don't think you can, I don't think you
Gambling overseas, that feels very...
in a Chinese casino?
Yeah, that feels very dangerous
shady.
for the nation, for the security.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right at all. He said, Gary was always good at putting people together with money. But, that just didn't work out. The U.S. State Department said that gambling is illegal in China, but all these people said that on this island, they would let gambling happen. So that's how they were going to build it.
Frightening then. Even more frightening.
Yeah, not working out. So friends here, his memorial service came, and a friend of his named Michelle said, I think it's disgusting the way people are treating him. He didn't kill himself. I know that for a fact. He was too ornery to do that, and he wasn't going to kill anyone else either. Somebody went after him and did that. Thank you for your obvious thing here. She said it's sad, but nobody knows. Time will tell. It's going to end up being tragic. Like it's not already.
The man's dead. He's exploded in a parking lot.
These fucking pieces of his skull are missing, replaced with shrapnel.
What's your definition of tragic, lady?
That's what I mean. It takes a lot for this lady to call anything tragic, boy. It's got to really be tragic. So the children, his children that he had with Pam Phillips, were in Aspen with her and beneficiaries of his $2 million life insurance policy.
Okay, not bad.
Yep, Phillips was obviously, Pam was questioned and, of course, considered a suspect by the sheriffs at one time and then, didn't think so. One of the reasons why she was a suspect is because she declined to take a lie detector test.
Oh.
All of his business people, all the Chinese casino people, all those people said, sure, give it to me, and they all passed. And she said, no. It was on the advice of her lawyer, who objected to her being singled out for a test he said was unreliable and inadmissible in court. So, okay. Now, in November 1st, 96, Phillips sends a missed October payment on his life insurance policy. Following an investigation, the company pays the claim, $2.2 million.
Yeah.
And she won't take a lie detector test, even though she got $2 million for a dead guy.
Right.
You got to at least take the test for that. You know what I mean? In December 1996, here, that's when the insurance claim is filed. And that's when the cops go, Jesus, $2 million. Let's go talk to Pam again. That's a lot of motivation.
Yeah, she's got 2 million reasons.
No one else was getting $2 million out of killing him. Mm-hmm. So they said the money would go to Pam as a trustee. She's the only person, when you follow the money, that benefited at all.
Right.
They said there's nothing. Pam, though, said there's nothing about me that would ever harm a person. That repeating means you're lying, by the way. Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
It's a good indicator, sure.
Whenever you hear anybody say something and then reset the same thing like this, nothing about me. Just say, whatever you're saying is a lie.
I didn't say that convincing enough. Nothing about me.
Listen to a lot of public, like if you listen to a lot of politicians, it'll be like the thing they're lying about that they're fucking lying about. That's what they do. So pay attention to that in speech. It's interesting. He said that would, nothing about me that would ever harm a person, ever. And she repeated that, too.
Twice.
She did it twice in one sentence. There's no money motive. There was no insurance motive. That's fine. So they questioned her. She told them that she divorced Gary and escaped from Tucson and fled to Aspen because she was terrified of him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said there was things that were happening with him I couldn't understand. He was off the wall. Off the wall.
Off the wall. He
off the wall.
Vans, goddammit.
Off the wall twice. These Vans squared. And she said she moved because our lives were threatened. I mean, our lives were threatened. She just says everything twice.
Who is she? She's repeat, for Christ's sake.
Really annoying. Gary feared everything. Gary was in total fear, going around with a gun. When people are making something up, though, they do this. That's the problem at the same time. But who knows? That's just my opinion. She said he had life threats. I had life threats. The children had life threats. We're talking about Mexican mafia people you don't cross. There was serious, serious things going on here.
Life threats. Does she mean death threats?
Life threats. Those are a more positive way to spin on death. When people put death threats on you,
you're going to live forever. Hang up.
Yeah, hang up. Hey, you're never going to die.
Have you seen The Green Mile? Forever?
Oh, my God. Seriously, that is very interesting.
Life
the opposite. Life threats.
Get yourself a little mouse. You're going to live with it forever.
I mean, yes, he did threaten to kill me, but I like to think of it more as a life threat than a death threat. You know, just kind of like feels better to think about it like that. And you can control like how your brain thinks about things just in terms of words you use.
You understand? I read The Secret.
Yeah, that's what you do. You knew where I was going. He said, this is a friend of her, Laura Chapman again, and we talked about before. She said about their marriage, when things started to go downward and the money was not going to be there anymore, and that rich and famous lifestyle was going to be evaporating, I think she saw the writing on the wall and said, I don't think I want to be in this relationship anymore.
Yeah.
She says, and this is the interviewer for 48 Hours, said, Pam tells this story with such conviction that she'd reached a point where she had to leave Gary because of these people he was dealing with, the threats to her family. Everyone was scared, and she had to move to Aspen to save her children. Yeah. Is that true? And Chapman said, that's absolutely ridiculous. That is not why she moved to Aspen. They said, well, why did she move? And Chapman said she was looking for her next ATM, her next bank. She was looking for someone to provide that lifestyle again.
Looking for another whale.
Yeah, and where are they? Aspen.
Aspen, you bet.
Perfect place. So after her divorce, by the way, Laura Chapman is Pam's friend, not fucking Gary's. Mm-hmm. This woman that just said that. She says that Pam was looking for love in Aspen. She said once she got to Colorado, the only thing she was looking for was to make sure she had basically a net worth of at least $10 million or more.
Wow.
That was the basis of where we could start.
Holy.
She said it really didn't matter what they looked like, just as long as they had a lot of money.
$10 million, and I'll suck it forever.
I don't give a fuck, or at least until I put in enough money to get some equity out of this divorce.
Yeah, or until you're worth $9.
Yeah. So she said that she met one guy, though, and she would hang out with all these rich and famous people, but she met one guy who her friend said didn't quite fit the mold here. Uh-huh. And that was Ron Young. His name was Ronald Young. Does that name sound familiar?
Hey.
Hello,
Yorba Linda. You're on the air.
Yeah. Hey, where's your car, Ron? Why are you leaving shotguns and shit in it?
Why would you leave someone? All right.
They said they asked Pam, how'd you meet Ron? And she said, I met him at a party next door, the duplex next to me. Very tall. The guy's like a skyscraper. He was a business manager to people that were at this barbecue, and I could use some help with my business, and so that's kind of what ended up happening.
Yeah.
He helped her business with his penis, which is how you help businesses for the most part.
6 foot tall man.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Philip said Young helped her with her business interest, and she paid him in cash, to not leave a big trail or anything.
Real on the up and up.
Wow. Oh, my God. Pam listen to the business she was doing, how asinine this was. This is in 1995, okay? Mm-hmm. So, beginning of the internet. She owned an online company, so she was starting with the .com shit right away, called starbabies.com.
What is that?
It made astrology charts for infants. So your baby would be born, you send the information, and they make you an astrology chart and send it to you.
Of what it looked like the day your baby was born.
Yeah, here's your baby's life mapped out based on all this birth shit.
She would show that.
Yeah, it's your charts. You do this whole chart thing.
It's the bullshit. It's a moon.
Yeah.
It's a moon baby.
And we do this online, and we'll make millions.
Oh my God, genius!
Yep, it is. She said, "I hand wrote all the different planetary aspects to understand our children and to be a better parent." That's what she's doing to try to be a better parent.
Dare you?
Drawing planetary aspects. So they asked Pam, "What was your relationship with Ron?" And she said, "Strictly business, pretty much." What is pretty much? Yeah. Is it strictly business or not?
Except for that part where I tasted his dick.
That's all. I mean, yeah, he's a pre-comer. I'll just say that. But that's
it was a lot.
Strictly business, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much negates anything you just said.
Strictly business, pretty much.
O.J. Simpson, did you kill your wife, Nicole? No, pretty much. Really?
Absolutely not, more or less.
Yeah, more or less. Give or take?
Roundabout, no.
Positively no way, give or take a bit.
What the fuck? How do you say strictly?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Strictly business, pretty much. Doing business plans. She just needs to say the word business because that's the opposite of sex.
Right.
The opposite of fucking is, we have clothes on and he's wearing a tie if we say business.
And there are a lot of people around and we're drinking coffee.
Yeah. You know how it goes. She said he helped on pretty much everything. He helped a lot. All qualifiers.
Designed my entire business model.
Yes. All of it. So 48 Hours said, "Now you're here to tell me the truth, right?" In other words, the guy said, "That was the worst answer I've ever fucking heard in my life," is what the interviewer said.
Do you want to try again?
And she said, "I'm here to tell you the truth." She just repeated what he said. They said, "Did your business relationship with Ron turn into a romantic relationship?"
Bingo.
Do you know her answer? You're going to guess it, I bet.
No, kinda.
No, not really. I swear I thought that's what you were going to say, too. I thought you were going to know that one. But kind is the same thing.
So it's the same thing.
Really no, not really. That's amazing. Then they said, because it was alleged that you were lovers. Were you lovers? And she said, no, we were not lovers. So there she is.
I did not love him. It was fucking for fun.
It was just fucking. Oh, wait, lovers means fucking? Then
shit.
Pretty much, give or take a little fucking.
In my estimation, approximately.
In the ballpark of a fucking, I would say.
What the fuck is happening?
Then she said this, "Oh my God, this is like embarrassing. What are you, 12? And your aunt just asked you if you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
You got any boyfriends at school? Oh, aunt, this is so embarrassing. Like, oh my God, this is like embarrassing," she said, laughing. She said, "Could we have crashed out having wine fully clothed on a couch or bed? That may have happened once or twice. We were not lovers, no." But you qualified it. Did we fall asleep drunk a couple times? I mean, our clothes were on, sort of.
When we fell asleep, They were on. When we woke up, they were off.
Unbelievable. Then in the summer of 96, she was mad at Ron, accused him of fraud, accused him of using her credit cards, and then she called the cops on him.
Okay.
In 96, in the summer. So he disappeared. He ran away because she called the cops on him. Yeah. So several months later, this is November 96, is when Gary is blown up in his car.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's interesting. Now, a cop who dealt with Phillips in the fraud case that took her call about this, he says, "Hey, I have a suspect in a fraud case up in Aspen. His name is Ron Young," and he calls the detective in Tucson to tell him that. "Hey, you might want to look into this because there's a guy that seems like a shady guy, blah, blah, blah." So now, at first, by the way, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Bureau here, they put out false information about the bomb on purpose.
Oh, genius, yeah.
Just so they could get people who, if someone was admitting or say they knew something.
Weed out the bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, they said it was a black powder bomb, but it wasn't, actually. So, by the way, a private investigator, or not an investigative reporter, uncovered 74 lawsuits involving Triano, either for or against him. him filing or him
suing.
How many lawsuits do you have going on right now?
Zero.
Pretty much, more or less.
In my estimation,
approximately zero. Exactly. 74 is high, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah.
If you said yourself, that sounds about right, you got fucking problems. A lot of problems. And probably way more money than me and Jimmie.
Get your life in order.
Yeah. Holy shit. So they said that when the materials of the bomb were identified, the battery and other material, including the blue canvas bag, they had a press conference to show stuff, to go, hey, look at this, to see if anybody would say anything. They wouldn't say whether the bomb was detonated by a remote device or set. Okay. So they said, was there anything special in the bag to entice him? And one of the cops said, don't read too much into it. It was around his birthday. He never locked his car. He thought this was part of the birthday. Hey, the guys left me a surprise. Because he was with the foursome of guys. So 1997, August of 1997 comes. They still got nothing.
Holy shit.
So
A year,
almost a year. There's a joint task force with the police, the sheriffs, the ATF, the FBI. They're all working together. In August of 1997, it disbands. The joint task force disbands. They got no more leads to go on. They can't have
a car in Yorba Linda.
That's it. Well, they said, one of the cops said, I'm sad that, this is Phillips. This is the wife said, quote, I'm sad that they were unable to find whoever did this. The tragedy lives on.
Sure
she
does.
told the Arizona Daily Star that. Now, 5 years later, 5 years go by. Sergeant Michael O'Connor, he's working on this, and he is the head of homicide here for this for the sheriff's department. And he said, as time goes on, it can actually help investigators, which is not true at all.
No.
It's not. I mean,
it can help in terms of like somebody having a conscience and just fucking admitting it, but it does not help in terms of the evidence, chasing down evidence and being like, now I've got it.
Witnesses die.
Yeah, right.
For every witness that has a change of heart over 5 years, there's a million pieces of evidence that deteriorate and witnesses that die or change their mind or move to Canada. Or who knows? Who the fuck knows? So he said the longer the case goes on, the more information trickles out. People who had alliances no longer do. Things happen, divorces or splits in business. Some may have fallen out of grace. Time is a way of working for us, in my experience. Those things are true.
Yeah.
But then for all of those, you lose a lot of other shit.
A lot, yeah.
For every suspect that lost an alliance and now will tell on their friend, there's another suspect who doesn't remember or died.
Right.
Or just forgot. You know what I mean? So he said, he said that Pam remains what O'Connor called a loose end, the ex-wife. He said she's not completely excluded as a suspect, is what he said. But, who knows? Said what makes it even more weird is Ron Young disappearing. He said that Ron Young's been described by authorities in Colorado as a bad guy. He's also been described as Pam's boyfriend, who she had some dealings with. He was wanted on weapons and fraud charges in Aspen and slipped out around the time of the murder and hasn't been seen since because he was in California with his car.
Right.
So the investigator for the district attorney's office says that Young is believed to be in the Bahamas at this point.
Really?
Really? Huh. Interesting. Now, there's a guy named J. Kenneth Orms, O-R-M-S, like arms with an O. Triano's business and personal relationships come to light around the New Frontier Investments. That's that company. That was, they talk about John Kenneth Orms, who is the founder of Platinum Luxury Real Estate and Platinum Mortgage Services. He's the guy who owns the company where he met his baby mama there. So he also, they said Orms is also known as being flamboyant in his services. He would sell his services on TV and a radio program on KTKT. So it sounds like if you're from Tucson and you lived there 20 years ago, you've probably seen this guy hawking his wares.
I think KTKT is fucking AM radio.
Sounds like it, yeah. It was probably like a wannabe Dave Ramsey or some shit. So he said that he talks about how he knows Alan Greenspan, who's the head Fed chairman at the time, and he boasts fast mortgages made faster by drive-by appraisals and papers that your spouse can just sign later.
Some fucking rocket mortgage?
We don't actually do a real legitimate deal here, is what he said.
This is straight bullshit, but you'll get cash.
Yeah. At the time this is going on, in 2000-ish, Orms is hooked up with Robin Gardner.
Oh.
His
young gal.
Yeah, who he had a baby with there. Gary had a baby with. On May 4th, 2000, 2 days before he turns 56, Orms sues Gardner in court, alleging that she owed him money on a loan for her 1994 white convertible Mustang that she had to return. Also, return a diamond engagement ring that he claimed was worth $10,000 because the engagement had broken off.
Okay.
Rich people sue when their relationships end, which is bonkers. When you're poor, you just leave. No one cares. You don't owe anybody shit.
Keep that stupid ring.
So they said that Gardner, there was different court papers have a lot of facts about their relationship. Orms was cited for disturbing her at her home 2 months after their engagement. She said that Orms threatened her and hit her in the face. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And she also said there's more where this came from. That's right. Orms went to her house, gave her $500 in cash, and said there's more where this came from if you would agree to have dinner with me at my house.
Holy.
She's trying to buy her. Gardner then sued him, I believe, and won $919,000 after showing she was improperly denied commissions and pay and was the victim of breach of contract, assault, slander, and infliction of emotional distress.
$1 million worth. Good for her.
Yeah, she was working. So also the sergeant called her extremely cooperative in the murder investigation and said she was pretty much cleared here. So they do a bomb reenactment in the remote mountains of New Mexico.
Sick.
They said this is the exact location where the device was when it was detonated. They have it in the front seat of an 89 Lincoln Town car. They said that when he entered the car, he leaned over to this unknown bag was sitting there, exactly where it's at now. And like anybody, probably reached over and grabbed it, right? And they said so. They looked at it. It's the exact same weight car, the exact same explosives. They have a dummy. They detonated the bomb. And they said, this is all the evidence. From here, we have to sort out what is car parts and what is bomb parts. Because now they can know, okay, because it's the exact same thing. He was asked, would this explosion have been survivable? And they said, no, not at all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're fucking dead. He said it was quick and calculated and murder. Very quick. They said that there are more people. The interviewer said, there are people who look at the circumstance and they say this looks like a classic mob hit. And the guy said, you're right, with the bombing, everybody looked at this and said, signature mob hit, but he didn't think so. It's a 17-inch pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Filled with 1 pound of smokeless gunpowder.
Oh.
It's a lot. A pound's a lot. Yeah. So that's what they find out. That's what they release. That's the bomb. So now they can kind of figure all this other stuff out. Now, 2005 comes around.
Yeah.
10 years, November 2005, 9 years. America's Most Wanted. They air a profile of Young, calling him a person of interest in the case, Ronald Young. They do this at the request of the U.S. Bureau of Tobacco, Alcohol, Firearms, and Explosives. So, based on a tip from a viewer 2 days later, police in Florida arrest Ronald Young on outstanding felony fraud charges from Aspen. Mm-hmm. Okay. He is convicted on federal gun violations and spends a year in federal prison, but the other charges are dropped. Now, what's Pam up to in 2005?
Love to know.
Her friends say, I'll just read from this article. Today, friends say that Pam Phillips is a devoted mother. She's active in real estate and Republican politics in Aspen. Real estate and politics.
She loves it.
You can't get two people I want to spend less time with than real estate and fucking politicians.
Yeah.
The worst, the two of them. Jesus Christ. You'll never be in a room where more people are trying to sell you shit. So in 2005, the case goes cold. Mm-hmm. They got Ronald, but that's all they got. They got him not for that. Yeah. Then in 2005, bomb expert Tony May and Agent Tony Mangan of the ATF were reviewing cold cases and took another look at this.
Sure.
So they asked him, tell me what the bomb tells you about the potential suspect. And they said, well, it tells me quite a bit, actually. From the size of the battery to the fact that a remote control system was used. Someone hit a button and blew him up like Scarface style. That's crazy.
Sick.
He said, this is somebody that was familiar with model boats and model airplanes.
Oh.
But they determined that the bomb builder was an amateur. He said, you have sloppy solder points. In this case, the solder points were globbed on. An expert bomb maker wouldn't do that. So we've seen bombs that experts make, and that's not what they do. He says that the 17-inch pipe bomb was detonated using a remote control firing system that can be purchased at Radio Shack or anywhere else like that. He says, and when he sees Mr. Triano get into the vehicle and get in close proximity to the bomb, he initiates the device, and boom. So they said sloppy workmanship says that it's not a mob hitman. Mob hitmen that use explosives, that's what they use. Yeah. That's that guy's specialty. And you go to that guy and he makes a really good fucking bomb. Yeah. Otherwise, he walks up behind the guy and shoots him in the fucking head because no one wants to blow themselves up making a fucking bomb. You got to know how to do that. So, which is what happens. So they said, as far as the cops were concerned, the mob hitman thing was out. That was crossed off the list. So they said that the Tucson detectives said that they're more and more convinced the key to the case would be the relationship between Pam Phillips and Ron Young. So then when Ron Young got arrested in Florida, they get a search warrant to search his apartment. And they find that Ron loves to keep records. Boy, he loves it.
He's a collector.
Oh, yeah. He learned, they said they learned that during the 90s, Young had received significant cash payments from a woman in Colorado. Weird. Usually between $1,800 and $2,000. They said the woman sent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it was Pam Phillips.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They said, well, why did she pay Ron Young $400,000 altogether?
Oh, boy.
And they said, we think maybe she was paying him to murder Gary Triano. Why else would she do it? So that's fucking insane.
$400,000.
$400,000. Yeah.
That buys a good bomb.
That'll buy somebody to at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
Pam, though, says, my children have to know this has nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with the death of their father. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Why are you saying it so much?
You sound like fucking OJ at this point. Like, if you want to study, like, language and what you don't say and what people say when they lie, just listen to her because she's a textbook of it, a fucking textbook. They said that the interviewer said to her, investigator said you had 2 million reasons. And she said, like what? Like, you don't know what that means.
$2 million, Pam. Jesus Christ. Like what?
The interviewer said $2 million in life insurance money. And she said, I didn't even know I had that.
Okay.
You didn't know that you got $2.2 million. I don't care how rich you are.
You know.
You knew you got $2.2 million. Give me a fucking break. Wow. So they said, the cops said, no, she needed the money and she wanted to get Gary out of her life. So she reaches out to Ron Young. And basically, if you look at the evidence collected, she says, if Gary dies, I get $2 million. You kill him, I'll give you $400,000. We think that's how it goes. Mm-hmm. Then they find tapes. In addition to his extensive financial records, they also have hours of telephone conversations.
Oh, God.
Including ones of him talking to Pam Phillips. Here's the audio. Here's him. Quote, if I ever found out that you compromised me for your benefit, that would really be unfortunate for you because there's just plenty of stuff that I could literally dig out of the ground and you're a fried duck.
He's got shit buried on her, too.
Yeah, he's got evidence, is what he saved some shit.
Yeah.
So then they discover this, Ron Young, and in one of the tapes he says, well, I'll tell you, you're going to be very serious when you sit in a woman's prison for murder. He said that to Pam.
Uh-huh.
And the cop said, I only know of one murder that Pam Phillips is associated with, and that's Gary Triano. So pretty sure that's what we're talking about here. Also, at one point, Young was recorded telling her, I helped you out on something, and that was beyond anybody else, what anyone else in the world would do, especially somebody you can trust. And I think that deserves some consideration since you're living off the benefits of it, you know.
And
so
he's
you got the insurance money, I want more money. Yep. So that's a lot. In another call, he said that, about the women's prison and all this. The sheriff described Young as part businessman, part con man, and they described Phillips as all gold digger.
Yeah.
He's half this, half that. She's all gold digger.
It feels like they agreed on a certain price, and he kept going back for more money when he was broke.
Yeah, he wanted more money.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was. So they found his rented van. They put that together in California. They did, at the time, that was nothing. Now they find record of that, and they're like, holy shit, he had all their papers and shit. That's a lot. They also, this I'll give you the cops quote, they find basically a map of Tucson. As far as we know, Ron Young has no relationship to Tucson.
Yeah.
There were several notes, one that lists out people that are very close to Gary Triano. We find a receipt for a hotel, a local hotel. We find where he stayed there for 18 days under the name Philip Desmond in Tucson. Then we find some of the divorce paperwork from Pam and Gary's divorce. They're like, this is
18 days.
This is a lot here, yeah. They also go to search Pam Phillips' home in 2006, and they publicly name her as a suspect. In 2007, in November, this is how long this is going on. No one's been arrested yet for
20
murder,
years almost.
Oh, 10 at this point, 11 years.
Yeah.
Triano's children from his first marriage, Heather and Brian, I think it was, file a wrongful death civil case against Phillips and Young.
Oh, shit.
Yep. September 2008, Pam leaves the U.S. for London and then Milan, Italy. She leaves the country.
Why?
Yep, her attorneys tell sheriff's investigators she went to live near her daughter who's going to school in Switzerland.
Okay. You're not even in the same country.
That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what. So, Young is arrested here. By the way, there was a psychic who told Gary's mother in 1996 that the people who were responsible for blowing up the car would be caught. The psychic said one suspect would be found in Florida. By the way, that is where he was arrested. That's where he was arrested for the fraud where they found all the shit. Which, by the way, a murderer he's going to leave and hide out. A pretty good guess is Florida. You're 50-50 on Florida right off the bat, and right? You don't have to be psychic for that.
She swung hard on the easiest state.
He's white trash and he'll be on the run. Wonder where he'll go. I don't know. Try fucking the Tampa area.
If it's not Florida, it's Alaska. But it's still super fucking upsetting when one of those gets it right.
That's so weird. It's weird.
I don't like it.
I'll give him credit. Fuck it. But yeah, it's weird. I'm saying good guess, but
it makes me uncomfortable.
A little bit, right? So they said Young was using aliases and living solely on the cash that Phillips provided him. The sergeant said he was off the grid.
He's doing everything wrong.
Yep. They said they'd been watching him for the last week and conducting surveillance on Phillips' house for the same amount of time, even though they didn't know she was in Europe there. So they ended up getting him, like we said, and now they're like, okay, what's up with her? But she's in Europe is the problem. So she has an attorney and said that they were working with law enforcement officers to bring Phillips into the case whenever necessary to defend her. His lawyer said, hey, look, I'm ready to talk to you. No problem here. So they said it came as a bit of a surprise to learn that Ms. Phillips was being charged through the newspaper this morning, her lawyer said. Because that's how he found out, rather than tell her. They said that she will plead not guilty if arrested and mount a vigorous defense to this whole thing. Okay. Ridiculous. By the way, the ATF ended up linking Ronald Young to the purchase of gunpowder in the pipe bomb, and they also determined the electronics used for the remote control were purchased by him at Radio Shack.
Of course they were.
Nowhere else to get it at that point. They said the FBI was crucial in analyzing money transfers, the forensic accounting they had. That was big. So she made periodic payments of between $1,500 and $2,000 to him between January 1997 and May 2004.
Jesus Christ.
Yep,
that's
the sheriff.
Murder on layaway.
That's a lot of murder. That's a lot
of payments.
She's keeping up. It's like a car. What do you want to do, like a 30-year mortgage or what?
Yeah, that's a full mortgage, man. She paid him for fucking 8 years.
That's incredible. The sheriff, who's a 7-term sheriff, said, I've never been involved in a case as complex and as difficult as this particular case. Tell me about it, putting it together.
Yeah.
Allison and myself, both of us, I think our heads almost exploded from getting all these people and all this shit. That's a bad analogy.
Exploded, James?
Exploded? Never mind. Sorry. Christ. That was bad, and I apologize, and I didn't mean to say that, but it's fucking true. So anyway.
Yeah.
They look into all this type of shit. They're looking into everything. They said all of the different business connections and Vegas casinos and all the money he owed just bogged down the whole investigation because you had to do everything. November 2009, the children from the first marriage win the wrongful death case against Phillips and Young, and the judge awards them $10 million.
Oh, boy, and they'll never get it.
Never get that. Phillips, on December 3rd, 2009, she's arrested in Vienna, Austria.
Really?
Yep, that's pretty fucking wild. They said that local detectives knew that authorities in Liechtenstein notified other European countries that Phillips was suspected in a money laundering case, and they wanted to question her in Liechtenstein. Mm-hmm. So the authorities in Austria, who knew her and knew where she was, went to her location, took her into custody, and then after they detained her, they discovered, she's also wanted in a murder in the United States.
She's kind of a bad person.
Yeah, so they ended up confirming all that and shipping her ass back to the States here. A friend, here's Laura Chapman again. She says, then once she got arrested, quote, it all came flooding back to me. I was like, oh my gosh, she really did do it. Yeah. They said that now she remembered that something that she'd been too scared to tell the police. She said, I was scared. She said back in 1993, right after they separated, Pam and Gary, she said that Gary was acting crazy one night, threatening her and waving a gun around. That's what Phillips told Laura. Yeah. She said, quote, she called me and she called another woman to come over to her home. And she said, I should just hire someone and have him taken out, and then I can collect the insurance policy.
Oh, my God.
That was 3 years before it happened.
She said it out loud.
Yeah. So for the cops, they were like, well, we don't like that at all. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, those are bad words to say.
So, yeah, she's finally extradited to the United States in 2010.
Okay.
That is 14 years later. His trial goes on first, Ronald Young. His defense team argues he had nothing to do with the murders, but that he learned details from Phillips and used that knowledge to extort her. So she made the bomb?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
And she just said the things.
Yeah. Her pageant experience made her a good bomb maker.
Right.
And the jury doesn't buy it either. It took the jury 12 hours over 2 days to convict him, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and first-degree murder.
Oh, both the bad ones.
Yep, he is facing life or life without the possibility of parole on each count when he's sentenced here. He hung his head when they announced the verdicts, and his attorney said, we're disappointed, but what the fuck do we expect?
Yeah.
What do you want here? So he is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison.
Staying there forever.
Staying there forever. Okay. Now, Phillips here.
Get her back.
October 2010, Pam Phillips, they finally got her back. Her defense team seeks mental health evaluations for her.
Huh.
They say she's fucking crazy. She can't stand trial. March 2011, doctors perform preliminary mental health examinations. They determine she is malingering and exaggerating her symptoms.
Of course.
She's deemed perfectly competent to stand trial. September 2011, though, a few months later, a Pima judge reverses his decision and agrees to have her undergo a full mental health check and delay the whole thing. Okay. Her lawyers say she is unfit. Yeah. So they ask her later on, she's asked on 48 Hours, Pam, is it true that you once believed that you had some sort of computer chip or brain implants put in that was controlling your thoughts and actions?
Yeah, you remember that?
Can you tell me that with a straight face that you believe that?
Say it.
And she said this, again, yes is the answer to it. Yes. She says, I'll just put it this way. Okay, you're lying. I'll just put it this way. I was a mess. I was a mess. I was a mess. Not answering the question and repeating yourself. Like, she couldn't be more of a fucking liar.
It's a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah, I was a mess. So they said, and today, do you believe there's any implants in your brain? This is what she says now. I believe our technology is amazing, what it can do. But I hope to not have any implants in my brain.
Oh, my God.
Full of shit.
Our technology
December
is amazing.
That's not yes or no. Just answer you're the most frustrating asshole.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're an asshole. December 2011, she is declared incompetent to stand trial.
Really?
But doctors say she can be restored to competency.
Sure.
And By October of 2012, she's finally competent.
Thank God.
2014, her trial comes. What? Fucking 18 years almost, 17 and a half years later after the murder. This is insanity. So, yeah, her attorneys are trying to convince the jurors that Ronald Young didn't kill him either. Because if Young did it, then she's involved. Because otherwise he has no connection.
Reason. Yeah.
So her attorneys not only have to say that she's innocent, they also have to relitigate the Ronald Young case.
Yeah.
That's not good. She's in a bad spot. He had it better than she does, I think, at this point. And the prosecutors are saying that they should not be allowed to argue that the mob did it because there's no evidence for that, so they shouldn't be allowed to put it out there. So the deputy Pima County attorney here, William McCollum, asked the judge to prohibit the defense from saying that he was killed by any form of organized crime. They want any references to mafia, Mexican mafia, Cosa Nostra, and Las Vegas crime syndicates banned from the proceedings, which is fucking hilarious. And the defense attorney said the death has all the markings of a mob hit. I don't know what you want from me. Then they said defense investigators discovered Triano made 23 phone calls to phone numbers that had multiple FBI investigation case numbers assigned to them, which also they're business people who are always defrauding people all the time that he's involved with. So that could be it too.
Be investigated.
They said, one of the telephone numbers was associated with a soldier in the Lucchese organized crime family. Another was made to a man suspected of being an enforcer in the Lucchese crime family. They might have also been his cousins. We are fucking guineas. Not to be a jerk, but that's also possible that he might just know a guy because we know each other, because that doesn't mean, you don't know people.
The mob has families. That's literally what they are.
Yeah.
It's a family.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they said other business associates had ties, which could be anything, to the Colombo and Bonanno families as well. Okay. Several of Triano's business associates, they said, had motive to kill him. And give me a fucking break here. They said Gary Triano was investigated for money laundering, skimming, and filed bankruptcy to discharge millions in lawful debt. Under the circumstances of numerous organized crime connections, it is reasonable to infer that Gary Triano had debts beyond the lawful debts discharged in bankruptcy. Gary Triano is also threatening the interests of organized crime people. No evidence of that. So, trial opening here, the prosecutors describe her as a gold digger who hired a former dirtbag boyfriend to kill her ex-husband for $2 million in life insurance policy so she could maintain her lavish lifestyle. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. He said Gary Triano lived on the edge, the financial edge. This is the defense. He borrowed a lot of money from all sorts of people, many people who maybe were connected with organized crime. That's who we think did this. That's who killed Gary Triano, not Pamela Phillips. Okay. Yeah. So they said the reason, the prosecutor said there's one reason that Gary Triano was murdered. One reason. He was murdered because his death benefited Pamela Phillips in a big way. $2 million is a hell of a motive. So, that's what they think. They say they say that they were talking about the life insurance policy for years because she talked to a friend about it 3 years earlier. And, they said that the reason he comes to Tucson, meaning Ron Young, was that he and Pamela Young had already agreed to kill Gary Triano. And then they say also they show all the $400,000 transactions. They show a replica of the pipe bomb in court.
Ouch.
You want to hold it? They tell the jurors that's powerful shit, man.
Yep.
Powerful shit. They get experts from the ATF. One ATF agent, Bradley Cooper is his name. No shit.
Yeah.
Agent Bradley Cooper. At the time of his bombing, he was assigned to high-profile cases. Of course, he's a high-profile guy.
Listen, he's handsome as fuck.
Listen, he's a sex symbol then, including Columbine, this guy was assigned to.
Really?
He says that the case was on the back burner. However, he told prosecutors the 7-year delay in writing the report did not hinder the analysis. Defense also brought up a lack of DNA analysis. They said DNA analysis wasn't even dreamed of at that time when it came to pipe bombs, like to touch DNA off a pipe bomb. They needed blood or hair. So they said the ATF agents presented the reconstructed replica, and said this was the bomb. They said, quote, the bomber would have been in a line of sight extending the antenna if he wanted to get further away, not necessarily having to enter it all the way. Obviously, that draws a lot of attention, a big remote with a fucking antenna. Yeah. What do you got here? You look around, I don't see a car anywhere. Right. There was no drones back then. You'd be looking for a plane or something. So they said the explosive guy said that he had never seen a remote-controlled explosive device prior to this investigation like this that was used in a murder. So they also took out the life insurance policies. They played the tapes. Oh, yeah. There's one where she says, this is Phillips and Young, she says there's got to be another way to do this. There's got to be another way. And he says the idea was, and she says this was short-term thing. And Young says over and over is until the coast was very, very... And she says, it was a short-term thing. And he says, until the coast was very, very clear that we just keep an extremely cautious, untraceable situation where we have. Then Philip said, if I have to kill myself and go to my grave and not say a word, I'll do that, but I'm just so miserable. So she also said at one point, she said, I am very serious about this. And he said, well, I tell you, you're going to be very serious when you sit in a woman's prison for murdering. You're going to be really sad. And she said, I'm going to be back and forth. And he said, no, you're going to be in prison for murder, is what he said. If you don't give me money, basically, I think. The defense blames Neil McNeese.
Oh.
Got to be Neil McNeese. That's right. Got to be him. They bring out D'Antoni, and he said, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? He said that McNeese, though, this is D'Antonio, said that McNeese was a saint.
Oh.
Now he's a saint. He said he was a wonderful guy, and I miss him very much when he wasn't on drugs, which completely contradicts what he said before, that he was this terrible, horrible, scary man.
He's a saint.
He's a saint. He was testimony painted him as an amoral billionaire with access to anything, including military weaponry, dynamite, and the ability to make pipe bombs.
Fucking dynamite?
Dynamite he's got. Good Lord. He said that they were talking about the ring and screaming and yelling and the kill list and all that sort of shit. Day 26 of the trial, Phillips' attorney alleges investigators botched the Triano murder investigation, dismissing leads because they just focused on Pam. Right. They didn't arrest her for 14, 16 fucking years. Give me a break. Are you kidding me?
They did a pretty good job.
They really snapped to judgment quickly. Really quick judgment here. In the closings, the prosecutor said she married what she thought was going to be a rich man. Her life was set. Now they're divorcing. She talks to her friends about taking him out, and all this has to be just eating away at her. It's time to hold Pamela Phillips responsible for her crimes. It's time to find her guilty. So the defense attorney, though, said, come on, basically, come on. They said he owes all these people money. This guy's pissed off at him. He said, really, that's their evidence that Ron Young knew anything about building a bomb animated and argumentative. They said the state could have had that if they followed their leads like they should have, and they didn't. They could have easily been processing this case in 97 or 98. The state went after the easy marks, the woman who got $2 million life insurance policy and the guy that was extorting her. Yeah, the state did Occam's razor and said, you're fucking, obviously, the one person who would get $2 million, everybody else who he owes $250, all that, death will never pay them. They will not get paid from fucking him dying.
It's been almost 20 years. They didn't jump to conclusions. I assure you that.
Asinine.
They found tapes of a man who probably did it, who's living off the grid for no reason,
hiding
on money from her.
From her.
It's pretty obvious what's happening.
For years. Either that or he has the best dick on earth.
Why would you do that for somebody?
Other than, like I said, the best penis that's ever fucking risen. That's all it has to be. Because so much where she'll send money for years afterwards, just in memories of the dick. Unreal. That's a lot. So she is found guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and first-degree murder. Mm-hmm. Sentencing comes around. The children from the first marriage, her stepkids, they come in, and Heather's really pissed because Heather stood up for her because Pam talked her into,
She defended her.
Heather said, to think I actually stood up for this woman. Mm-hmm. She described their close relationship that she continued to have with her years after the murder. And she said that Pam was a guest at her wedding and present when her first child was born. Wow. She said even after the America's Most Wanted episode implicated her and Ronald Young, she said she still defended her. She said, I vividly remember going to Pam's house to give her a pep talk. It's going to be okay. We know you're innocent.
Yeah.
Wow. That is fucking wild. Gary's son.
This woman blew up your dad.
That in a horrible way. At least it was quick. Jesus Christ. But still, they said, the son, Brian, said that she's just greedy. He said, Pamela Phillips murdered my father for nothing but the supposed comfort money would give her. His life was taken as a result of lack of humanity, greed, and malice. The judge says, you, ma'am, may fuck off, life in prison for you two as well. She said, as the judge announced it, she said, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. This is a nightmare. That's what she said. Which is probably exactly how she said it, by the way.
She repeated that.
That's what I mean. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm innocent. Annie M. So the defense attorneys afterwards said, this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, to watch my client be sentenced when I know she's innocent.
No, you don't.
He asked for 25 years to life, and they said, get the fuck out of here. Life for you. Now, Ronald Young appeals, and the Arizona Appeals Court rules a new sentence must be imposed. Some fuck up in the technicalities of the sentencing, and he is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, 25 years to life.
Okay, so
he's in there either way. They're both assholes.
Yeah.
Now, the book is called Ugly Duckling, by the way, written by Royal Phillips. Yeah, it's kind of a ironic thing because she was always pretty.
Is it Pam's sister?
It's Pam's aunt, but they're very close.
Got it.
So they were close to each other.
Hilarious.
And she's a writer. She's a former columnist for the Montecito Journal. Her also. They say the book is a saga of a wealthy, eccentric family seen through the close relationship between aunt and niece. Documented through diaries, correspondence, and family photographs, Royal unfolds the story of true crime. Okay. So it's pretty interesting if you just want a total background on a murder and see what happens there. But that, everybody, is Catalina Foothills, Arizona.
What a place.
Fucking Tucson every time, damn it. Every time with you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Man.
Tell you what. If you like that episode, tell everyone you fucking know. Post on social. Just tell everybody about the show. It really helps drive us up the charts. Leave a review, 5 stars, whatever app you're listening on. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets are on sale. Every live show is on sale. And if you don't get them soon, you might not be able to get them. Yeah. Places like Phoenix, there are just about, I think it's only our holds left. I think it's all sold out. Or it might be like 5 tickets left otherwise. We got other play. Kansas City almost gone. Look out for Terrytown, Boston, Nashville. Everything's going fast. So get in there, shutupandgivememurder.com. Sacramento, San Francisco are our kickoff in April. Right. Sacramento, San Francisco, Phoenix, Austin, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Durham, Nashville, Terrytown, Boston. Boom. There you go. Get in there, shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, new merch up. Even we have a Your Stupid Opinions shirt with the logo on there. Listen to Your Stupid Opinions in Crime and Sports, please.
Shows,
Just do. If you like this show, honestly, give them a shot. What's the worst that could happen? You waste an hour and you laughed your ass off. So do that. Have fun. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you find all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get a huge back catalog of bonus episodes. New episodes every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder. You get it all this week. What you're going to get for small town murder, for crime and sports, we're going to talk about players with disabilities. Think Jim Abbott, one hand, throwing a no-hitter. Shit like that. Very interesting. Small town murder, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Let's get into this shit and find out what the fuck is going on. And we have some weird takes on it, too, that we'll talk about. And it's interesting. So if you want to hear maybe a different take on it, listen to us here. So there you go. Check that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Plus, you get a shout out, which will come in just 1 second. Follow on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Jimmy, hit me with the list of the best goddamn people on the face of the earth that I can't wait to have a whole new year with. Jimmy, hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Bennett, Liz Vasquez, Brian Stone, Amy Peppers, Cameron Kushwara, Kimmy Wolf, Kevin Spilker, P.S. Kevin Thank you so much. I hope your dad recovers. What a fucking sweet thing.
I would say.
Amazing. I appreciate it. Beeve Arnell, I think it's Beeve. Biave, I don't. It might be Beeve.
Biave.
Infinity Hill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
And
Thank you so much.
Renee at the Massachusetts State Police in the identification section is retiring. Congratulations.
Well, congrats to you.
40 goddamn years. Renee Boulier, Bruderer.
Wow.
No.
Good job. I'm sure that's exactly how her family pronounces it.
Mike, Megan, and Danny. Really appreciative of you, Ms. Bruderer. Anyway, thank you guys so much for what you're doing. Other producers this week are Cosmos Moon, Cousin Eddie's Shitter, Janice Hill, Kaylee O'Donnell, Casey Kramer, Bethany Grabow, Mike with no last name, Beth McCourt, Andrew Roife, Mama Joe, Devin Austin, Mallory Konovsky, Elle Minnie, Jasmine Lee, Jessica Gnarly, that can't be right, Allison with no last name, Gribbles with no last name, Alicia Fury, Salvador Sanchez, Amanda Little, Francis, yes, of course it's Francis.
Yeah,
Francis, Kufi, Cuff, Randolph Wright, Francis, Megan Nicole 85, Michelle Taylor, Brandy Slifer, Mitchell Klenbaum, Rasslin Rehash, Jackie Collier, Caleb Aker, Jenny with no last name, Trisha Syravage. Syravage? What is Syravage?
Syravage? Oh.
Side of your vag.
Side of your vag.
Oh, boy. How do you have vag in your last name and expect us not to mention? All right. Jenny Mack, Jacob O'Reilly, Jessica Sharp, Lisa Maglio, Cheyenne Mitchell Brown, Stephanie Dresser, Danielle Kent, Amanda J, Chrissy Allen Doyle, Emily Z, Becky with no last name, Cushy DuPont, Amber McCullough, Danny Faulkner, Jordan Martinez, Lindsay K, Rachel Pelovitz. For the Pelovitz. Virginia Blackman. Oh, Blackman. Blackmon. That's an O. Blackmon. Salvador Mendez. Sienna Benz. Scott Brown. Laura Brown. Jennifer Maston. Megan Costello. Finn Guame. Gurney. Gummy? Gurney.
Gummy?
Oh, boy. All right. Dave Ashton, Jennifer Hanford, Jen with no last name, Sean with no last name, Rachel with no last name, Braden with no last name, Kim Rowland, Julie Matt maybe, Seth O'Neill, Megan Mark, Jenny Ensminger, Benji Charleston, Esther Vridgehoff. Trevor Thierot, Sammy Jones, Emily Burt, Chris Curler, Jesse Robson maybe, Jessica Trowell, Scars Rodriguez, Ashley Siders, Ken Choma, yikes, Barbie with no last name, Carol Piercause, Tricia Brubaker, Stephanie Goodale, Josh Bogus, Gill with no last name, Robin Cox, Robert Lee French Jr., Queen Katie, Terry K, Batty, no last name, Tina Armstrong, Anon, your biggest fan? Anon, your biggest fan. I don't know. A-N, that might be Anan, right? Amber Riley, maybe. Gwen
Somebody's
Deaton,
maybe.
Alonzo Hernandez, Carl Shell, K Marg maybe, Amanda Thornton, Wendy McLean, Travis Duran, Sherry S, Andrew Childs, Eleni, Gipparakis, Jipparagus.
Wow.
Call me asparagus. Jared Fontenot, Lisa Scammy, Paul Ellis, Rob W, Nick Miller, Kelly with no last name, Travis White, and every one of our patrons. You guys are terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, you wonderful, magnificent bastards. We love you, and we cannot thank you enough for all that you've done for us. Thank you for everything, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts. And keep coming back and hanging out with us week after week. You want to follow us, shutupandgivememurder.com. Links to all that shit. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.